Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, September 24th, 2024, and welcome to the first episode of Coffee and Current Events with Dago. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a great morning today. A great start to your day, I should say. What we're going to do today is we're going to see how this goes. We're going to try starting off drinking coffee, waking up, and talking about what's going on in the world today with each other and see how it goes. Please share this out wherever you may and see if anybody else would like to stop by the cafe and have a little coffee with us as we talk about current events today. Come on. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Please come on, sit down in here at the cafe with me and have a conversation. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's get it going, guys. Here we go. All right. I'm working on my whole intro thing for this, by the way, so bear with me. Come on in, everybody. Get comfortable, if you will, please, and thank you. It is great to have you guys back, and I hope you're all having an amazing start to your day. I know I am, now that I'm here with y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this. I'm trying it out. We'll see how it works. We'll tweak it, twist it, turn it, whatever we got to do until we get it right. If it's what everybody enjoys. If everybody doesn't like it, then we won't do it. No big deal. Just something new I'm trying. So we shall see how it goes. But anyway, come on in, everybody. Please hit that like button when you come through the door. Share this out again. Like I said, anybody you think would want to jump in a cafe with us and have their coffee in their first cup of coffee this morning, the second cup of coffee, the third cup of coffee. Who knows? It doesn't know. It doesn't matter. Coffee is coffee is coffee is coffee. Sorry, guys. I'm still working my way into this. So I'm not used to being in here this early. It's really not early. It's 10:35 here today, Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Sorry. And a welcome to everybody that's here with us. Let's see. So far, we got Miss Cassie in the house. Cassie, hello. Musical Contessa, good morning to you, my dear. Good to see you. Wisdom Speaks, of course. Always the lovely Miss Sherry. Great to see you. Miss Terry Martin, hello, and good morning to you. Arctic Fox, my brother, good to see you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Diamonds and Pearls, hello. Good morning to you. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Let's see. Ray Baldick, welcome. Good morning. Good to have you here this morning. Leslie and Billy, good morning. Good morning to you. And I hope you have a wonderful day at work. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Murky Piglet, wonderful to see you today as well. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a great day. In Stitches in the house, good to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. Come on in, everybody, if you will. Grab a seat. Get comfortable. Let's talk about what's going on in the world today and what may have happened over this past weekend. Who knows? 7:40 a.m. with Miss Cassie. It is 10:36 a.m. here. Good morning, Miss Cass. You got them babies up and moving around, I'm sure, doing the mom thing. Also, like I said, I was getting ready to explain something to you. I was thinking about, because we all know my name is Joe. Joe, that's me. I was thinking about throwing it up. And who knows? We'll see. Lots of this. Good morning, Miss Pebbles. Good to see you this morning. Bam, bam. Good to have you here. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. It's great to see you. Again, guys, 32 amazing peeps in here. Please hit that like button. We only got 25 likes. Let's mega match if we can. Maybe we can get this on the algorithm. Who knows? But anyway, ever since I had that pumpkin caramel stuff the other day, I was raving about how good it was. Focus. Thank you. My kid, one of my Juniper's dad, he was at the dollar store and he seen something. He was like, grabbed it and he said, "You need to try this. You were raving about that pumpkin caramel." This is called caramel cream. Folks, I have become quite the foo-foo coffee drinker. I'll put it that way. I love coffee. We know that. That's just general information. Good morning, Eddie. One made nut in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. And I hope you had a great weekend, brother. It's great to have you here. Anywho, this is the bomb. Kaboom, kabam, kaboom. It is the bomb. It is caramel cream, and it's dollar store stuff too, and it tastes really good. Caramel cream coffee, and then it's got, I use that powdered because I don't like my coffee getting cold. I like it hot for a reason. It's got the powdered French vanilla creamer in it. Folks. Well, I have it all throughout the day, the whole day. I drink coffee all day long. I love it. Coffee, water, and tea. Those are, well, every now and again I drink that root beer stuff, but yeah. They make nut-derived creamers now for those. That's awesome. Check it out, folks. If you guys are lactose intolerant, try one of them out. Please, if you will. But again, yes, guys, this is new, of course, because I've never done this like this before. It's very early for me. Good morning, Wildfire. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Serving. Okay, see, we got Doodle that passes out cake in the afternoons and the evenings. Contessa is passing out virtual biscotti to everybody. See, this is how this community works. This is why you guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for that. Contessa, that's awesome. I could just get my Doodle up. Where's my Doodle? It's probably still early for her. Probably still early for her. And that's okay. Doodle does a lot, so. Come on in. Get a few more minutes and we'll get started in our conversations. Yes, I should throw the Dago signal up to her. Sweet potato spice cake. Oh my God. Is that like carrot cake stitches? That's what it reminds me of. I love sweet potato pie. I don't like sweet potatoes, but good morning, Captain Jackson in the house. Good to see you this morning, sir. How are you today? That was really fast. I hope you understood what I said. Yes, please. Please, on your way through that door, look to the right. Even if it's with your peripheral. There's a button over there to the right side on the wall. You can either kick it, lick it, hit it, punch it, smack it. It's the like button. Please do that if you will. Like this up so we can get ourselves in that algorithm and get flowing for the day, folks. Please and thank you. Sweet potato. I hate sweet potatoes. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I hate them. I don't know why I love sweet potato pie. I don't like so. Oh my God, dude, I can't stand that. I get those all the time, too.
Pleading to the United States Supreme Court. Marcellus Williams has maintained his innocence. He was convicted of the 1998 murder of former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale. Investigators said Gale was stabbed 43 times inside her University City home. Prosecutors argued Williams stole a laptop and other items. A lack of DNA evidence raised doubts. A board of inquiry established by then-Governor Eric Greitens was tasked with examining the case, but was dissolved under current Governor Mike Parson, prompting an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court that Williams was denied due process. On Monday, attorneys for Williams argued before the Missouri Supreme Court that the prosecutor at trial struck a juror because they were black.
He said the quiet part out loud. He admitted that there was actually a racial component here, and that is unconstitutional.
Williams' attorneys say previous court rulings came before this latest revelation.
When the trial prosecutor was subjected to cross-examination, he admitted unequivocally that he struck a juror in part because he was a young black man with glasses.
Let me correct some things. The prosecutor was not cross-examined. He was their witness. He was examined on this point on direct.
An attorney for the state argued there's not enough evidence to delay the execution and that the prosecutor's words were taken out of context.
What did he say when asked directly, did you strike someone partially, was part of your reason for striking someone because he was black? He said, no, absolutely not.
St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, who was not the prosecutor at the time of Williams' conviction, has raised questions not only about the conviction, but also about his guilt. Reporting from Jefferson City, Jeff Bernthal, Fox 2 News.
Wow, that is not that's not good. Let's hear from his son real quick, guys. On top of that, that's going to happen this evening. This is not. The Constitution's been turned into a roll of toilet paper, you guys. I'm telling you, it has. I don't want to upset anybody by saying that, but guys, how many things have we seen with the Constitution that have not followed suit? I mean, we know it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see here. Lack of DNA. Pebbles, yes. What the hell's going on, guys? I just saw somebody else that said, Murky, I'm looking for your other comment. Did you put it in already? Sad news today. Okay, that one I saw. Yes, ma'am. That's why we're talking about this. I was making sure there wasn't another one. They also contaminated evidence. They found, and then prosecutors and investigators' DNA on a knife. Jesus Christ. This is insane, you guys. What is going on in our world? What is it? Willard. How about this? Let's have Willie join us today. Feel like joining us today, Willie? You haven't been up here in a while. Come on, let's do it, brother. Let's do it. Come on up here and flex them muscles for all the ladies in here. I'm sure they'll love it. There's a link, my friend. Come on up and join us. Leslie Petrolakis in the house. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Current Events with Dago. First thing in the morning. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah. Let's check this out. You don't have to jump up, Willie. I was just giving you the link in case you are interested, sir. I told you Lady Justice is blind for a reason. Amen to that one, Miss Sherry. Amen. Amen. Let's check out what Marcellus's son has to say, guys, on this. His father is set to be executed this evening. This is probably the worst thing a child could... Dude.
What's up, buddy?
What is happening, my brother? Good morning.
Haven't seen you in a while, man.
No. It's great to have you here. Hope you're doing well.
I see you go. You've been going late, you've been going like live late, right?
I do. I've been trying to get back on a regular schedule, but yeah, late.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm trying to work it into a normal schedule. This is a new thing I'm doing. I'm trying to work it out to see if it works and see if everybody enjoys it. And then my typical show is going to be in between noon and 2, hopefully, is when I'm going to do that. And then I'll still do an evening show possibly, but it won't be late like that because that's been crazy.
Gotcha. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Same old.
Living and breathing and looking for
Hanging
the
in
dream.
there.
You know, that's about it. How's your
getting back to what you were saying, dude. Yeah, I feel like the Constitution is just a piece of paper at this point. Like
it's turned into a roll of toilet paper, in my opinion, because we've seen it shit on how many times now?
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. And then it just seems like we're so quick to execute people with minimal evidence in this country. I don't understand that.
100%. I don't either. And guys, everything that spoke about, just like with the other stuff we do, nobody said anything. I just want to get in front of anything before anybody gets upset or were to get upset, which they shouldn't. But, everybody has the rights to their feelings and their opinions in here, as they always have with every show we do. And we respect that because not everybody feels the same. I understand that. But, well, I don't think anybody can argue that lately, with a lot of stuff that we've seen, Willie, that it has become a piece of paper. There's no standing behind it anymore. There's no solidarity behind or anything with it that means like it used to mean. And it just doesn't anymore.
I mean, let's face it. If they really want to, they can put whatever kind of order in place or say whatever and come take everybody's firearms. I mean, they can do that. Like, regardless of the Constitution, they can still attempt to do that. And that's scary, man.
It's very scary. I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't knocked on everybody's door and said, you're no longer allowed to drink coffee when you wake up in the morning. You're no longer allowed to take a morning shit when you wake up in the morning because
that's why I've been stocking up on. You're in Ohio, right? Yeah, so you're good too. That's why I've been stocking up on black powder firearms, dude. Because black powder firearms aren't considered like they're not under the same category as non-black powder. So if the design is made before 1898, even if it's made today, as long as the design is made before 1898 and it's black powder, it's not considered a firearm, and anybody can own it. And you're not put in the system of owning this like you are with every other firearm. So even if the government tries to come and take a couple of my guns, I have a bunch of black powder firearms that they're considered antiques under federal law. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I do. Believe me, I do. I'm all about that stuff. My neighbor, not my neighbor, but a good friend of mine has many black powder weapons that he has stocked up on for the same reasoning.
Yeah. And the reason I like that is because, again, when you buy a pistol or even a shotgun, you have to go through a whole background check, and now they put you you're in the system now. So if they do a buyback program, they know how many guns you have, and if you don't comply, yada yada yada. But if you have 100 black powder firearms in your house, they don't know anything about that. You know what I mean? And that's to me, that's at least we have some leeway to protect ourselves if they come and try to take our firearms. Go
ahead. I was going to say here's the thing. You're right, and I think the American people in general, are resilient. And if it came down to it, and they did take everything from us,
yeah.
I think we're smart enough and resilient enough to go into our backyard and create something that we would need to defend ourselves.
Yeah. And I'm not talking and I'm not talking a musket or what they use in the fucking Civil War. Like, I'm talking about a 6-shot black powder revolver that, obviously you load yourself, but if you have 3-4 other chambers that you just quickly pop out, pop in, pop out, pop in, I'm not talking about a single shot musket where you guys sit there for 2 minutes and reload and get another shot. I'm talking about, actual stuff to defend yourself. And then also, there's a bunch of other stuff you can do with black powder too, which I'm not going to get into, but I don't see the government, them going door to door and knowing, basically most people have guns. I just don't see them doing that. They're taking big risks. You know what I mean?
Let me put this out to you. I agree with you because of the simple fact that we are an independent people. Okay, if you know what I said about telling you can't drink coffee is a joke, but what I'm saying is, they know that if they were to start doing something like that, that we would all stand up. Okay, every one of us would stand up at the same time and go, no, I don't think that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We have never ever before sat down long enough to allow things like that to happen here. We may sit back now and watch what's going on.
Plus, the Second Amendment is made for them, is basically made for governments not to be able to do that. Right. You know what I mean? So they're kind of contradicting themselves when they try to take away their guns. But then if we all rise up against them with our guns, that's what the Constitution basically calls for. If tyranny tries to,
that's it.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of
they know it would be a dangerous situation. 100%. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And they would falter to the people. I should say that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there'd be so many instances where they do a knock and all of a sudden people they're getting the shootouts. I mean, it'd be all over the United States. There'd be shootouts and stuff between the cops and people not wanting to give up their guns. So I don't think that'd be a smart idea. I'm just saying the simple fact of they can, if they want to, tomorrow they can put some kind of order in and say there's an emergency or whatever and try it. I'm not saying they're going to succeed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I just don't, they know the reaction that would be there. They know that people would stand against it, and they know, 9/11, when 9/11
we're not
happened,
Canada. Yeah.
No. when 9/11 happened, and I know you remember this, and everybody on here, I know you know it as well. Welcome, Miss Taylor. Hold on one second, Willie. Miss Taylor, welcome to you. Oh, I owe this woman. I still feel bad about this, Taylor. We're gonna make this right soon. Ro, I saw you. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. I think I got you. If I didn't get you, I will get you. I promise you. But yeah, when 9/11 happened, okay, it's a horrible thing to talk about, to bring up, of course, but to use as an example. But when 9/11 happened, the people, and I'm referring to all of us as the people, came together as one unit. I don't care if you were black, white, Asian, gang,
Democrat, Republican, didn't matter.
Republican, we were one. Okay. And that is what I love about this country, because we do that when we need to do that. Okay. Yeah. And I'm telling you, if the government.
Now, think about this, though. This was before social media. Now, we can group. I mean, people can group very fucking fast. You know what I mean? Because of how,
Yes. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Because of social media, we're here like that together. That I can get on here and go, Willie, this is what's going on. This is what needs to happen. Let's do this. And you're like right there. Let's do it right now, bro. You know what I mean?
And say there's, just hypothetically, there's 10,000 people watching, 500 people want to be involved. All of a sudden, you have a group of 502 people in a matter of seconds. Where before, it would take a long time to gather that many people. You know what I mean?
Of course. And yes, it can be a negative thing, but you have to stay and keep it in the positive direction to support us as the people.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously. Absolutely. I'm just saying worst case.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, you are right. Welcome, Kells 420. Good to see you. Croc, Charlie's in the house. Good morning to you as well. Sorry if I'm a little hyper, guys. This is number 4, and this stuff is strong. I didn't realize it was that strong.
What is it?
I went to the frou coffee stuff because somebody brought over the other day. We had a little party for my 1-year-old little girl that we're friends with.
Yeah.
And the mom and dad brought a little coffee pot because we did it all out in my garage and stuff. And they had pumpkin caramel. And I don't do pumpkin shit. I don't like pumpkin flavor. I grabbed this by accident, brewed it out, and I started to drink it. And I went, oh my God, what is this? And I put like the French vanilla sugar-free creamer, the powder creamer in it, because I don't like my coffee getting cold. So I keep the liquid stuff out. So I've become, and I'm not ashamed at all. I love the taste of this stuff. And it was a pumpkin caramel. That's what it was. Pumpkin caramel coffee. It was amazing. So my kid was at Dollar General the other day, the father of my granddaughter, and saw this caramel cream coffee from the dollar store, Dollar General. It's generic, whatever flavor or brand that is. Brought it home and I tried it, and dude, it's caramel cream coffee. Add that French vanilla powder to it. This is fucking amazing. I'm telling you, it's good. So it's like, I'm not ashamed. Like I said, I'm a man, but I will screw it up with this stuff. I'm telling you, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could. I mean, to be honest, like I like the like it wakes you up and stuff. But I have anxiety, so when I drink coffee, dude, my anxiety's through the roof, bro.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I do. I get it. That's why I typically will drink medium roast. I used to drink the hardcore road tar shit, and I can't do it anymore. But
yeah, like I start off my morning with a bottle of water and a few bong rips. You know what I mean? Then I'm ready to rock. But we're all different, you know.
Nothing wrong with that at all, bro.
But anyway, so this guy that they're trying to execute, I mean, I don't really know too much about his case. Do you know a lot about this case or not really?
I don't actually, unfortunately, but this is his son that we're about to watch. Real quick. Good morning, Miss Kells. Again, congrats. 14 months. That is insane. Wow. Over a year you've been here. We appreciate you so much. And we're grateful to have you as part of this community, part of this family. So,
how old is the gentleman they're trying to execute?
I'm not 100% sure on this. Like I said, this is new to me, and somebody brought it up, so it's a current event. I figured we'd throw it out there. We're about to find out a little bit more. This is his son right here.
Okay.
He's to be executed this evening. There was no pardon. There's no reprieve, no nothing. So I'm curious myself to see what's going on. And thank you for throwing this out there for me this morning. I'm definitely.
But can't they still get like that last second phone call or no?
I'm sure they could if he were to do that.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Piglet just said she sent me the info email. So while we're watching this video, I will check that out, and we'll see what we can get out of it. So thank you guys again for joining. Thanks for jumping up here with me, bud. I appreciate you. Always nice to to talk with always.
Yeah, man. If you ask me to come up, I'll come up. You know,
Absolutely, I appreciate.
I just didn't want to. I don't want to like disturb anything.
No, not at all. No, thank you, Kels, for being part of this community. We love it. Yes, everybody should call the governor and say, "Hey, this man needs a pardon." Not that it'll help, but I would do it. You know
Well, once I learn again, I don't know too much about it. So once I learn a little more, then you know.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Let's check this out real quick.
How does hope apply to where you are right now in life?
Like, I hope a miracle happens, you know what I'm saying? I hope it's all I wish is to free my father from abundant enslavement and spare his life.
What would you say to the Supreme Court if you had the opportunity to testify on behalf of your dad?
I would try to make them see that this is a murder on their behalf and this is wrong, you know? And I believe my father is truly innocent and they need to take a closer look.
Have you allowed yourself to even get to Tuesday right now?
Yeah, I already put it inside my body that I would be a witness to the execution. I'm gonna stand there firm and show my dad he's not alone if this what it comes to. And I'm ready for it. My mindset, my spirit, strong. Like, I'm doing this for my dad. It's bigger than me. So for me to be there in that time, if it comes to that, it's like an honor where I'm gonna see him off. So if this is the way that he going out, we already made peace.
Has he said that to you, that he's made peace?
Multiple times. It's not even just making peace. It's like, this is a natural way of life. You're going to die.
Thanks for watching. Stay.
Doesn't give a whole lot of info there. I'm looking for this email so I can explain this case to you guys.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, you know, like what the evidence is, like what they're killing them based off of.
Oh, this again is based on DNA, from my understanding. I didn't get it yet, Murky. Hold on here. Let's see. Nothing.
Like we're so quick to put people down in this country, man, with fucking no evidence. The hell?
Yep.
Again, I don't oppose the death penalty, but I mean, there's limitations, for Christ's sakes.
I mean, there's so many people, I've never heard of this, but everybody that seems to know about this is saying that he's innocent. Okay.
Yeah.
There's reasons that people think that. We're not stupid people. We know what we're doing.
No, I know. I'm not saying. No, I'm just saying. I don't know. You know anything? I don't know the information about this case. I guess you know, like what evidence they have and what evidence they suppressed or any of that shit.
Absolutely.
Thanks, SRB.
Yeah, guys, check out Willie's channel if you will.
Yeah, I still only have like 1,000 some, so I don't really go live anymore, man.
That's okay. It's still out there. I still want people to know that it exists, as I always
appreciate
have.
that.
Yeah, sir. It's not coming in. I don't know. Did you throw it to the right email, Piglet? I know you have it because you sent me stuff before. Nothing there yet. Oh shoot! Hold on. Where are we at here?
So they're killing this guy tonight. Is there a time or something? Like,
I'm not sure.
Jesus.
Unfortunately,
why is this all coming to light now? Like, why? Like, damn, they should. I wish they brought this up like a week or two ago. So we.
Well, they probably did, but we just never.
Yeah. With the whole Diddy thing, everything's been kind of.
Yes, that's the other thing. We were going to look at that too, probably, but
hidden by that. Yeah, but that's like kind of the distraction. So like all this stuff that's happening is under the radar because we don't know about it.
Let's see what we got. While I'm still waiting on that email to jump through here, let's see. There's a couple other little clips on this too. See if it tells any more info on it for us here, and boom. All right.
Developing tonight, in less than 20 hours, Missouri death row inmate Marcellus Williams is set to die by lethal injection. It comes after the Supreme Court ruled this evening that the execution should move forward. Brent Solomon is in the newsroom with what will happen from here.
Hey there, Mike. Tonight, the group Missourians Who Abolish the Death Penalty tells me it will deliver more than 1 million signatures to the state capitol tomorrow. It's a last-ditch effort to halt the execution.
1 million?
The state's high court.
This is as of 11 hours ago. So this is.
Did he say 1 million signatures?
More than 1 million, yes, sir. More than.
Hell.
Wow, thank you, Arctic, for that. Are you taking off, Pebbles? All right. Thank you for joining us, Pebbles. Appreciate having you here.
See you, Pep.
Be seated.
In Jeff City Monday, a hearing before the Missouri Supreme Court to stop Marcellus Williams' execution one day before it's set to happen.
And basically, Mr. Williams is going to be killed because the government mishandled this evidence.
Michelle M.L. Smith was at that hearing and listened as the state's high court ruled against staying the execution. Prior to that ruling, Williams' attorneys insisted there were errors in jury selection for the 1998 stabbing death of newspaper reporter Felicia Gale. They also pointed to what we've heard before, reports of the murder weapon being mishandled.
And the main person who would say the government did wrong and would know is Prosecutor Bell. That's his office today. And he looked back at what his office did, and he said, yes, my office messed up.
After the ruling, St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell saying this: even for those who disagree on the death penalty, when there is a shadow of a doubt of any defendant's guilt, the irreversible punishment of execution should not be an option. He goes on to say his office has...
There's my biggest bitch on this right here. If there is even the shadow of a doubt, why go with the death penalty? How
Exactly.
about why not life until there can be something figured out? If there's even a slight doubt, that's bullshit to me. I'm sorry. You're taking somebody's life. You can't fix that. You can't change
or prolong it another week or two. What like, does that hurt?
Something instead of we're going to execute you. And then a week after the execution, oh shit. Guess what? We found
too late.
something else. The man's dead. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. It don't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. This is ridiculous, you guys. And they even said they admitted to doing wrong. Thank you, SRB. They 100% they did. Are you kidding me?
What?
How in the hell is this still rolling like this? This pisses me off. There's a statement in here where a juror was let go because he was a young black man that wore glasses.
Whoa.
Like, are you fucking serious? Excuse my language. You guys know that when I get upset, I start dropping words. This is crazy.
What the hell does that have to? A black man would go. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
No idea. Well, maybe because this is a black man and he wears glasses. I don't know.
Okay, so a white man isn't allowed to have any white men on his jury panel?
Good question, bub. Good question. This is insane. Welcome, Kyla. Good to see you today. It is scary as hell. There is no coming back from death. There's none. You can't fix this problem, folks. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake.
Yeah, and he obviously has a family. His son is, his son's by his side for a reason. So his son doesn't think his dad's a monster. A million other people don't think they have enough evidence to execute him. I mean, Jesus, sad, man.
It's beyond sad. Prosecution even said they were willing to allow an Alford plea and get life, even though he is innocent, just to stop the execution, and it was not allowed. Sounds almost like a personal vendetta at this point to me.
Was not allowed. Huh.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, in a sense, you guys, this is legal murder. That's all it is to me.
The person that was killed or people that were killed, did they have something to do with like law enforcement or?
No, she was a reporter, I believe. Felicia Gale. I don't even understand this case. I wish I would have known more about this case too. Then I could have said something about this when on the crime side of things that we cover. This is brand new to me this morning. So, sadly.
Jesus. So we have 12 hours left, basically.
Yeah. Or the truth is hiding in the system somewhere. Amen to that one, Miss Sherry. That seems to be what happens a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out till after it can't be changed then. That's a problem. That's a problem. The victim's family have wanted it stopped. Right. That's a bigger problem. The victim, Felicia Gale's family, have asked them to stop this.
What?
Dude, what is going on in this country? What is going on, you guys?
Whatever they want's going on. That's, I guess.
Right there. It's whatever they want it to be. They do what they want, when they want, how they want to. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is insane to me. Let me finish this video up here.
Questions about Williams' guilt and about the integrity of the conviction. Governor Parson denying Williams' request for clemency, saying Monday capital punishment cases are some of the hardest issues the governor's office has to address. He said, quote, "When it comes down to it, I follow the law and trust the integrity of our judicial system."
I've heard Governor Parson also say that he stands with victims' families and he does what the victims' families want. The victims' family doesn't want this.
The governor says Williams exhausted due process, saying no jury or court have found merit in his claims for innocence. Tomorrow, Williams supporters will gather in several cities, including at the state capitol. They're hoping the U.S. Supreme Court will step in.
Yes.
We got till this evening on this and can only pray to God that it stopped, at least until an investigation can be finished and figured out as to what actually happened.
Well, how long ago was he put up? Like, how long ago was he convicted?
I don't even know. Piglet, let me see if Piglet's email came through at this point.
Because usually they, it takes 25, 30 years before.
Yep. No, Piglet, it still hasn't come through. Do you have the right? Did it go into spam? Maybe it shouldn't have. That's weird. Maud, drop the email address in there for Piglet just to make sure that it goes through right. I should have got that a long time ago. I don't understand why I didn't. It's weird. Hold on, everybody. Good afternoon, Mark and Betty. Good to have you here. Due process should not be exhausted if there's any doubt. You have it? Okay, then I don't know why it's not going through, Piglet.
This is crazy.
It's insane to me.
Welcome to this edition of Rattling Bars. I'm your host, Manson Moose. In this country, according to the Constitution of the United States, a presumption of innocence goes with a person that's arrested. They're presumed innocent until they are found guilty. It's not they're presumed innocent until they exonerate themselves. It's the burden is always on the state to prosecute a person beyond a reasonable doubt. We have a situation today where a man that is innocent.
22 years ago, this happened. So this
not by me saying this, but by the very people that prosecuted him saying,
and they're saying that he's innocent.
That he's innocent. Not me saying this. The evidence, the DNA evidence is saying this. Not me saying this, but a preponderance of evidence and people coming out on behalf of Marcellus Williams Khalifa, better known as Khalifa, who is slated to be executed the 24th of this month. Joining me today is a supporter and an advocate for Khalifa is Michelle Smith. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the space to talk about Khalifa's case.
Okay, so let's start right here. First, tell us a little bit about what you do. Then we'll go into like what's going on with our with Khalifa.
Sure. So, well, as far as myself and my organization, I am the co-director of Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty.
Thank you, Taylor. I got
we are the only statewide entity.
Where's the Innocence Project on this?
That's a good question, to be honest with you. I was just getting ready to ask that question. If the Innocence Project had grabbed a hold of this or had gotten involved. Cap, exactly, Cap. That's the thing. Good morning, Miss Molly. Good to have you here. This is crazy.
Jinx, Captain.
This is crazy as hell. Good morning, everybody that's jumping in, by the way. Thank you guys for joining us this morning for Coffee and Current Events with Dago. My guest is Willie, of course, our friend Willie. We all know who Willie is. Most of us do. Some of you guys are new, don't know him. Willie's been around for a long time. He's got his own channel as well. The link was dropped up here a few times. But Willie's a very good friend of the channel and has been around for a long time. So always will be a good friend of the channel. Good morning, Miss Crypto. Good to see you.
Yeah, man, just know, like, even if I don't come around, if somebody brings up your name in a negative light somewhere, I rip them to fucking shreds, dude. I've
heard that, yes, sir. I've heard that.
I'm just saying, dude. Just because I'm not around, you don't hear anything, I got your back always, dude.
Willie's always had my back. He's always stood up for me. I've stood up for him. I've helped him out in bad situations, vice versa.
Yeah, I never forget, man.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you very much. I do.
You too.
Yeah, I don't don't understand this email. Hold on, let's listen to what she's saying real quick here again, because again, guys, I'm curious now. Definitely curious now.
It's to get rid of capital punishment. That is our main goal. And in doing that, we do a lot of different things. We do things from legislative advocacy, trying to change the actual law, to, connecting with our community and educating our citizens about
Exactly,
the usage of the death penalty in Missouri. So, and also we advocate for people who are on death row, which is what we're.
Understand something, guys. Like Willie said about himself, I'm not per se against death penalty where it should be. Okay, what I'm saying, Midwest projects have been working on over the years. Okay, thank you, Piglet. What I'm saying is it shouldn't pertain to an innocent man. If there's innocence or even a doubt, the shadow of a doubt, no, you pull that person off death row, give them life, do whatever while the investigation's going on for that, while they're looking into the situation, figuring out what could be the problem. You don't just throw somebody out on death row just because. I'm sorry, but that's not the way this country is supposed to be built. That's not what we're supposed to stand for. And I, for one, definitely do not.
Well, I'm curious now. Is there anybody in chat who thinks that this man should be put to death today? If so,
I don't know enough about it to make that judgment, but there's people that believe, that brought this up, that said that this shouldn't be happening.
Okay. I'm just curious of how many people actually, think that he should be put to death based on what they know.
They're all saying no. I'm with you, Eddie, on that too. I don't know. Thank you, Contessa. And guys, for those of you that are just jumping in because it's not normal, I'm trying something new. I'm doing coffee and current events with Dago in the morning, and we're gonna see how it works. And
but to me, it speaks volumes. If the victim's family feels that way, that's odd. Number one, that's odd. Even if
very
but
odd
to not even acknowledge that the victim's family doesn't want.
Yes, thank you. That's my question. If the 20-some years, Terry, if the victim's family is saying, please stop this, what the hell? And the governor says that he falters, or not falters, but he follows along with what the victim's families want in some senses. Why aren't you looking at that with this situation then, Governor? I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Yeah, this seems like a vendetta or something. I don't know, something's going on.
Well, I gotta wonder, is the prosecutor of this case somebody that's very influential? And if they take him off death row, it's going to make that prosecutor look bad. Something happened then. Something's wrong. And again, yes, we're in Missouri, folks. Remember that. Arctic, let's talk about Missouri, because you guys know what Missouri's been like. The cases I've covered out of Missouri, there's a lot of problems there. I'll just put it that way. Okay?
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't know. Again, this was a lot of years ago, and things were different a lot of years ago. Was this the victim? Is the victim an African American man, woman, white woman, man?
It was a white woman. Felicia Gale, who's a reporter, found stabbed to death, and this is.
So this seems like this is basically the Green Mile, without obviously the children.
Yeah, in some senses, yes, sir. Exactly, Arctic. Missouri is a scary state, folks. How many cases have we covered? Arctic, myself, Miss Barbara's case, Timmy D's. There's quite a few cases out of Missouri that scare me because something's wrong. They're not being progressive, processed, taken care of the way they should be. There's no justice coming out of them. Here we are again. So,
and this man obviously has a son. I'm sure he has more children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, like Jesus, man. They're about to kill this guy in 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Again, yes, sir. It's crazy. From a UK perspective, life here means 20 to 30 years. Some over there have been on death row for listen, guy. One of the cases that caused me to come into true crime. A friend of mine, Raymond Fife, was murdered years ago. He was 12 years old. We were young kids. And the man that did it, the two men that did it, one died in prison because he got life. The one that got the death penalty is still sitting on death row. Danny Lee Hill, look it up, state of Ohio. Still sitting there. 40 years we're going on. This man's been on death row. What the hell is going on? I understand.
Yeah. So what's another year? So I mean, it's just, so what's another year for this guy to
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
To maybe get 5-10 million signatures instead of 1 million so far. Like.
And I'm telling you right now, what's going to happen is they're going to execute this man tonight, and in a week, a month, a year, they're going to figure out that it was a mistake. You cannot bring him back.
Yeah. And the only thing they're going to do is offer their family a bunch of money, and that's supposed to help everything. It's such a crock of shit, man.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse my language.
No. There's no language barriers in this channel anymore, bro. You say what you got to say, okay?
Okay, cool.
As long as you're not being vulgar to other people in here, I don't care.
Oh, no.
I know you won't do that. I'm just saying anybody. Governor Mike Parson could stop it if he wanted to, so why doesn't he? That's the question, Contessa. Is it a personal thing with him? Because it almost looks that way to me. You know what I mean? It's really sad. I don't get this. And I just found this out this morning. I don't have all the information.
It just angered me because this guy's my dad's age. So it's like, if this is my dad, like I'm just putting myself in this son's position that's going through this right now. Holy shit, man.
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Hold on a minute here. Just sent an article. Thank you, Stitches.
I'm about to blow up the governor's office with phone calls.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the only thing that can be done at this point, and pray that maybe it'll make a difference. They're turning in over 1 million plus signatures to stop this.
Yeah.
If that doesn't show, you have 1 million plus people that are saying this man's innocent and it needs to be looked at again. Please wait. And they're not going to abide by that. That's insane to me.
I'm curious to see how many people are going to be standing outside, like protesting and stuff. And if they go along with this, I wonder if there's going to be like, I'm just curious on what happens here. It seems like a race. This seems like a race thing, dude. Going to be honest with you.
It could. Wait a minute, Murky. Your email came through. Let's check it out real quick, you guys. Thank you, Murky. And I did receive another one. Tina, I got that as well. It says DNA wasn't on the knife that was used. See, there's a problem. Here we are again. DNA.
Well, they said 40 times that this person was stabbed. So, like, he would have been covered and, like...
100%.
I mean, come on.
100%. It sounds is relatively familiar to me, too.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring that up, but yeah.
I know I would not as well. But it is something a little familiar, too. I'll say that much. So, all right. So, a Missouri judge denied a motion to vacate a condemned man's death sentence, despite attorneys, including one prosecutor, you guys. A prosecutor even stated something on this, saying evidence was mishandled in the 1998 trial that could have exonerated Marcellus Khalifa Williams. Williams, 55 years old, remains scheduled to die by lethal injection September 24th at the state Bonne Terre, a city in Francois County, about 60 miles southwest of St. Louis. Williams was convicted of first-degree murder for the slaying of 42-year-old Alicia Gale, former reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. A social worker at the time, the woman was found slain in the suburban St. Louis home she shared with her husband. Let's see here. Give me 1 second.
So they buried the exculpatory evidence, you're basically telling me. Wow. They buried the exculpatory evidence. Holy shit. Maybe that's why they don't want to admit wrong. Maybe that's why they want to do this, so it just goes away, because they know that if they don't, and this is looked into, I'm sure there's a bunch of corruption that happened that get him to this point, and I think there'd be a lot of people that have to answer questions and shit if they didn't execute him. Maybe that's why.
Probably. Maybe. You know, that's good point.
If a prosecutor is saying that there was evidence, exculpatory evidence that was buried, like somebody's in charge of burying that evidence.
Yeah, very much. Very possible. But you gotta, then there's the question as to why. What happened and why did that happen?
Because it could be a race thing. I mean, the guy in the Green Mile didn't do it. You know, this is Missouri, dude.
And this, we all know how this goes. There's a black man that killed a white woman, supposedly. That's a problem. We know that that's an issue, and it has been an issue that people look down on that kind of stuff, automatically throw that race thing out there. I'm not saying that's what this is, guys, but facts are facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it says she was stabbed 43 times with a kitchen knife taken from inside the couple's home. Court papers show. We've already been told that the DNA that's on the weapon does not match. So how is this man even sitting here? This is insane.
This is sick.
St. Louis County Circuit Judge Bryce Hilton's Thursday ruling stemmed from an August 28th evidentiary hearing during which St. Louis County Prosecutor Attorney Wesley Bell presented a new DNA lab report showing the murder weapon had been mishandled during the trial. Bell had filed a motion based on new DNA testing conducted on murder weapon collected at the crime scene, which the prosecutor said conclusively excluded Williams, as the person who killed Gail. Are you kidding me? And they're still going to go through with this. Wow, folks. Wow. Hilton ruled that vacating the 2001 conviction was not warranted under Missouri law, according to court records. Tricia Roja Bushnell, one of Williams' attorneys, told USA Today her client's defense team will file more appeals and seek clemency from Republican Governor Mike Parson. The decision of a prosecutor to move to vacate a murder conviction and death sentence is not done lightly. No, it's not. When the prosecutor is saying, hold up, stop, we need to vacate this. What the hell? Guys, that doesn't happen. Okay? And they're still not doing this?
What? Dude, they're about to murder a guy with no justification.
Legal murder. I'm sorry, but that's what this is basically. That's insane.
They're better, dude. If there's not thousands and thousands of people outside of the courthouse protesting this, we got an issue.
This is insane, you guys. I'm sorry. There is overwhelming evidence that Marcellus Williams' trial was constitutionally unfair, including revelations that the state contaminated the most critical evidence in the case, the murder weapon. Good God. We will continue pursuing every possible option to prevent Mr. Williams' wrongful execution, Bushnell said. There is still time for the courts or Governor Parson to ensure the Missouri does not commit the irreparable injustice of executing an innocent person. Do you guys understand? If this happens, oh my God, the repercussions that are going to come out of this.
I hope so, man. This should scare the shit out of everybody that lives. I don't know if everybody here lives in America, but this should scare everybody.
Yeah, 100%. The crux of Williams' argument focused on DNA evidence that authorities recently determined was contaminated during the trial by two officials in the St. Louis prosecuting attorney's office, a retired prosecutor and investigator. During the evidentiary hearing last month, prosecutor Kenneth Larner admitted to handling the murder weapon 5 times before the trial without gloves, indicating Williams could be innocent. Holy shit.
What?
Wow.
Let me ask you something, brother. Let me ask you something. Knowing what you know, seeing all this, I know there's a right thing to do, but there's also, you also got to think about, look at this case. If you're going hiking through the woods and you see a dead body stabbed to death in the woods, are you calling 911?
Of course.
Really?
Wait, repeat what you said. I didn't hear it completely.
If you're hiking in the woods and you see a freshly stabbed up individual laying in the woods that was obviously dumped there, are you calling 911?
Yes, I'm going to call 911, of course.
Okay.
What else is there to do? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Again, I'm seeing this if they have no other suspect and they refer back to the person who just you miraculously were out hiking in that area that day and yada yada yada, and all of a sudden you're on death row. That this is my point. Is like this makes me scared to.
I agree. No, I see what you're saying. Yes. Now to contact 911 because.
Thank you, Arctic.
They're going to come back at you. There's the number, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Willie, hold it up if you don't.
Yeah, I got you. Well, if they're asking, what were you doing there, or what were you doing on that night, and yada yada yada, and all of a sudden they say, your touch DNA was found here because you might have touched the same branch an officer touched when he walked out there. Like, I don't know, man. You figure with how much technology we have, this shit wouldn't happen. But they're about to kill an innocent guy. It looks like. I don't know what kind of point they're trying to prove. I mean, that the family's not happy with it. The public's not happy with it. I don't know. I guess all we can do is pray that they get a phone call or something. Yeah, when I get off here, though, I'm going to blow up the governor's phone line with like 4 different numbers. This is some horse shit.
Wow, this is insane to me. Welcome, Michael 007. Good to have you here. Welcome, everybody from over the pond as well.
It really is, especially when we're like counting down the hours of this guy's life.
This is very uncomfortable for me. Honestly, it's very, very uncomfortable for me. It scares the hell out of me. It should scare all of you.
Yeah. Well, it scares the shit out of me because now, I see here that even when the prosecution and the victim's family don't want this to happen, the state still goes along with it. And then, like you said, in the other case, I'll just say it flat out, in the Idaho 4 case, I know Brian. Okay. So like if Brian dies just like this, I'm never going to trust the system ever again in my whole life. I'm never going to go anywhere. I'll lock myself in my house forever. Because now I know somebody this happened to, let alone here where I'm counting down the hours of this guy that I don't even know who's about to be executed off no evidence. I don't know, man. I just hate having no faith in this fucking system anymore. It shouldn't be called the justice system. It should just be called the legal system.
The injustice system.
Yeah,
What it's turned into lately, it really is.
Crazy, man.
Let me see something here, guys.
Absolutely crazy. I do got like 10 more minutes though, because I'm heading to the range today to sight a few of these pistols in.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter to me either way if it's a couple minutes or an hour, whatever. I always appreciate having you here, bro.
Yeah, man. I always love the conversation. Like I said, I like talking to you because you got common sense, and that's it's as easy as you think it is to find today. It's very tough. You ain't
lying. It's hard to find it out there. I'm gonna try something real quick here, guys, if that's all right with you. 751 3222.
What's up, Squishy?
Squishy Bum in the house. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Squishy Bum.
All right, hold on a minute, guys. Don't say anything. Let's try this real quick.
Next available representative. Thank you for calling the office of Governor Mike Marston. Our business hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Friday, excluding state and federal holidays. If you would please leave your name, your phone number, and a brief message, we will get back to you as soon as we can.
Oh, I knew that was going to be. It's dark outside today, Michael. It's raining today. Well, I'll keep trying this, but they're not going to answer that way. They're probably getting thousands of calls from people. You guys, it's probably what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, are there really other channels covering this right now?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, seen anything about it until this morning. So,
but we all know Diddy had 1,000 bottles of lube, right? But yet this guy's about to be killed for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it right there. That's what's important. Or Diddy had 1,000 bottles of baby oil, or Bullhorn Betty went to court, and nobody cares.
I mean, Law Crime Network goes to makes video every day. They're talking about the same shit with Diddy instead of like talking about other crimes or other cases that should be brought to light. I don't get it.
Something of importance, exactly.
He's one person. Like
100%. I'm it's current. I was probably going to talk about it too, but I have not seen. Until I saw this grabbed my attention immediately. We have another case like this going on in Oklahoma as well, but this is bugging me in a bad way. Let me see if anything else or anybody else even talking about it. There isn't. Wow, this is insane to me.
Oh yeah.
4 hours ago. Here we go. All right, let's see what this has. All we can do, you guys, is pray to God. Chaz D, welcome. pray to God, cross our fingers and toes that this governor sees this for what this is and does something before it's too late.
But isn't the I mean, by now, isn't the governor aware? Or no?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, he should have done this already.
So the Supreme Court is the one that has to step in at this point. It seems like
the governor can stop this at any second. He can pardon this right now.
Yeah.
If there's 1 second left and he makes a phone call, he can pardon it and stop it right then there. But why hasn't he done it yet? That's what I don't understand. Why has he not done it yet? That's the problem. Exactly. There is no coverage, Crystal. I haven't seen anything. So I'm glad
he had 20 years.
20 years. Thank you. Yes. Even I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I get it. It's just it's happening for all the wrong reasons, and the only people that want it to happen is the system. Like the victim's family doesn't want it to happen. The prosecution basically said that this guy should be exonerated. Exactly. So it's whatever corrupt entity screwed up or screwed with the evidence that would have exonerated him, and they don't want that to come to light because that would make them look bad. But screw a guy's life.
That's what this is about, guys. In my opinion, it's going to make them look bad. The state's going to look bad.
By the way, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying anything is a fact. This is just me looking at it for what it is, you know?
That's how it looks to me, Willie. I can't argue with that at all because that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, what other reason could there possibly be that they're not going to stop this? At least pause it or delay it until they can look into this just a little bit more. It's been 26 years.
Well, think about it, man. If this is a 22-year-old girl, right? Do you think they'd kill her today?
If it was, here's the thing. This is what I want to say. If this was a white man that was on death row that killed a white woman,
it wouldn't
have been a big deal. They'd have done it already. In my opinion, I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Arctic said Missouri, they'll give him a needle and then claim he died of a drug. 100%, bro. I've seen so much stupid shit come out of Missouri, Willie. You have no idea, bro. Dude, there was somebody murdered next door to the police station in a park. They found this person hanging. Are you kidding me? And there's been nothing.
Hanging?
Yes, in the park. The Timmy case, I think you were around when we covered Timmy D's. There's multiple cases out of Missouri that are showing corruption within law enforcement and within the state. It's a problem, guys.
Is anyone here in chat from Missouri?
Doodlebug's from Missouri. She knows. She's told me herself.
Oh, shit.
Horrible. Arctic has covered multiple cases. Miss Barbara comes in here. She's from Missouri. It's been a problem. It's been a problem. So let's check out this clip real quick here.
Yeah, I got like 5 minutes, brother.
No problem. Once again, I appreciate you jumping in here.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Always welcome, dude.
I'll be back. It's like sometimes like I see you live, but I'm like about to pass out because I know you like to do the late lives and stuff.
Well, hopefully, my schedule is going to get back to where it's supposed to be early afternoon. Maybe if this works out for this morning thing, and then early evening, 8 to 9 o'clock. So hopefully, we'll see.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna pop down, and I'll still be able to watch it, but I'm gonna be riding.
That sounds good.
All right, brother, man. I appreciate you having me up. I'll talk to you later on.
All right, always, brother. Thank you so very much. Have a good one.
All right, bud. Have a great day, man. See you.
Time, I don't know. Let's check this out real quick.
Williams, convicted of a murder he says he did not commit, is expected to be executed today. His growing list of supporters, though, still hope Governor Mike Parson will change course.
Let's check in now with Fox 2's Laura Simon. She is downtown where a group against the death sentence will meet later today. Laura?
John and Blair, Marcellus Williams is likely in his final hours as Governor Mike Parson.
Oh, absolutely, Crystal. I had Mandy on my show. We covered, I did an 8-hour show with Mandy and put out a lot of information from Mandy and some very eye-opening stuff. So it was it's very interesting. I'll say that much. Very interesting. Hey, Chopper, good to see you. Good to have you here. I'm not sure, Chopper, but I will look that up for sure. Come on in, everybody. Get a seat, get comfortable. Thank you for joining us. First episode of Coffee and Current Events with Dago. Good morning to you guys. And if it rolls out well and you guys enjoy it, we're going to continue doing it, hopefully. We got stuck on one subject so far this morning, but it's a very important subject. There's about to be a man that is pretty much, from what everything I'm seeing, just learning about this, seems to be innocent. That's about to lose his life tonight due to the death penalty. And it's insane to me. So again, thank you, Willie, for joining me today, brother. I appreciate you very much. It's good to have you around, as always. So yeah, I know all about Miss Mandy. And I'm glad to know that you're friends with her as well, Miss Crystal. Thank you for joining us today.
Person says that execution will move forward tonight, and this all comes despite an overwhelming amount of support from people across the world. And on Monday, attorneys made their final arguments for Marcellus Williams out at the Missouri Supreme Court. Williams is set to be executed today for killing former Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale back in 1998. The 55-year-old has always maintained his innocence. He was convicted officially in 2001 for stabbing Gale to death 43 times inside her home in University City. He's been on death row for years at this point. His execution has been stayed twice. Earlier this year, St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell's office filed a motion to vacate the conviction based on DNA evidence that wasn't available when the murder happened. Questions came up about the integrity of the DNA because of the way the knife was handled by investigators years ago. Other issues also came up about the jury's racial makeup in Williams' original trial. Judge Bruce Hilton held an evidentiary hearing on Bell's motion last month, but denied it, allowing this execution to move forward. Bell sent out a statement on Monday saying, in part, even for those who disagree on the death penalty, when there is a shadow of a doubt of any defendant's guilt, the irreversible punishment of execution should not be an option. A clemency petition with more than 1 million signatures is set to be delivered to the governor's office today, but Parson has emphasized that courts at all levels have upheld Williams' conviction. Among the names on this petition, though, are victims' family members. And Michelle Smith is with the group called Missourians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty. Take a listen.
People who think, they're doing this for the family, please understand and reconsider your thought process in that, because in this moment, the family is not supportive of this. However, the government is still pushing forward, which is very disrespectful to the victim's family.
Advocates for Williams are scheduled to meet here at the Carnahan Courthouse at 3 this afternoon, and other advocates will be meeting in various places across the state, and many of those people are going to be traveling to Bonne Terre, where Williams is set to die by lethal injection at 6 tonight. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis this morning, Laura Simon, Fox 2 News.
Execution of a Missouri death row inmate is set to go ahead today after the state Supreme Court and the state's governor both rejected pleas to stop the procedure, despite prosecutors saying he may be innocent. 55-year-old Marcellus Williams is scheduled to be executed later today by lethal injection for the 1998 stabbing death of Felicia Gale Williams, and has maintained his innocence in the case. Or rather, Williams has maintained his innocence in the case. Attorneys for Williams still have an appeal out to the U.S. Supreme Court, though. So joining us now to discuss this is CBS News legal contributor.
I gotta wonder the same question at this time, Miss Terry. She was a reporter. Now, I'm not trying to go down any rabbit holes here, folks, okay? You know how I am about conspiracy theories and things like that. But here's a question. They have stuck to this no matter what. We have prosecutors, victim family members, everybody saying do not execute this man. What case, what story was this reporter working on at this time? What stories was this reporter working on when she was unalived or killed? I'm sorry. What was going on at that time and when this woman was killed, that this man has to be the one that is executed for her death? Not given life, not given the ability to talk through this, not given the ability to stay through this as an investigation continues. What was she working on? I'm just saying. Missouri there's a lot of questions that I have in the state of Missouri, as I've covered multiple cases. Like I said, Arctic has covered multiple things in that state as well, within the same area, but it's all over the state, you guys. I'm just saying. That is a very good point, Miss Terry. It really is. And I got to ask that question at this point now. I do. Crystal says in Bismarck, an officer shot a mentally ill person while the victim's mom was cradling him in her arms. The officer was promoted to the police chief. Jesus Christ. This is what I'm saying. What in the hell is going on? Where's my doodle at? I wish she was in here. She knows. She knows a lot of this stuff, you guys. It's crazy. By the way, I don't know if you saw it or not, Arctic. I dropped you a link in the Discord if you're interested in joining me. Everybody always enjoys having you as much as I do. So if you're not busy or anything, you're welcome to jump up here at any time, sir. Where's my doodle? I know that sounds funny, doesn't it, Condessa? She might be busy. I've always supported the death penalty, but cases like this make me question whether we should have it. I agree, because it's a non-reversible situation. Okay. Mistakes happen. Good morning, Sunshine. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you're here. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's an unreversible situation, okay? God forbid there were mistakes made, guys. You can't change it at that point. When this man is gone, this man is gone. And if it comes to be that it was a mistake, so be it. Mistakes can be fixed. You can't bring somebody back to life after they've been killed. I'm just saying.
Rebecca Royfee. Rebecca, good morning. So this execution has actually been sort of pushed along kind of several times. Help us understand, though, what the arguments were from Marcellus' attorney, what they brought forward, and why this time around the Supreme Court was not swayed.
Sounds good, brother.
There were two arguments, Anne-Marie, that the lawyers made this time. The first one was that Marcellus.
Please hit that like button as you're coming through the door, everybody. I really appreciate that. Something like this specifically, it needs to be heard. Today of all days needs to be heard. So let's get this in an algorithm. Let's get the world seeing this, guys. This is too serious to me. And thank you so much, Murky, for bringing this up. First thing that we're talking about here today with current events. It's the most important thing of the day. The most important thing of the year. We cannot allow for an innocent man to go to death because they don't know the truth. They don't have the answer. Like Miss Sherry said, the truth is buried somewhere within the system. Once he's gone, folks. This is sad.
Marcellus did not receive a fair trial because the prosecutors wrongfully excluded a juror based on that juror's race. The second argument was that the prosecutors destroyed the only evidence that could possibly exculpate Marcellus in this case. And so those two arguments failed in the Missouri Supreme Court. What's left now is just one last chance with the U.S. Supreme Court.
I found it interesting sort of reading some of what the justices had to say, and some of their phrasing, maybe you can explain to me, but it was essentially, I see nothing here that would prove his innocence, which I thought was an interesting way to phrase it, because I thought it would be, I see nothing here that would, I don't know, somehow I thought that the phrasing would be different, but I guess at this point, the conclusion of the court is that he is guilty and you need evidence to prove otherwise.
And good morning, dear. Good to have you.
Right. I mean, once somebody has been convicted, the jurors have decided, 12 jurors have decided that he's guilty of this crime, then, that presumption that we normally have that people.
They pulled a juror because of his race, because he might go in favor of innocence. What the hell? And then we had the murder weapon handled 5 different times by prosecution without gloves on. You're kidding me, right? And this man is still sitting on death row. What the actual hell? How are they not seeing this for what it is? Yeah, you're okay, Taylor. Thank you for jumping back in. I appreciate you very much. This is insane to me, you guys. It's beyond wrong. Beyond wrong.
Well, are innocent shifts. That said, the idea that we might execute somebody who is potentially innocent is itself troubling.
JC, we're talking about Marcellus Williams. He's on death row, set to be executed at 6 p.m. today. And it has been stated multiple times by multiple people that they don't believe he's guilty after 26 years. Okay, including a prosecutor that has stated that this needs to stop. The victim's family have stated this needs to stop. Over 1 million plus people have signed a petition stating that this needs to stop. What else do we need to see or hear for this, guys? With what they know as facts that happen in this case, there is no excuse for not letting him Alfred plea and stay for life and continue his fight. Absolutely, Murky. Absolutely. Again, thank you for bringing this to my attention today. These are the things that we need to be out here fighting for, you guys. Facts. There's one in Oklahoma, just like Taylor just said. Last name is Williams as well. Coco, I believe. Wasn't that the case? I had that in my email as well, guys. I'll show you that here in a minute. This is crazy, guys. Rodney Reed is on death row. Texas death row. I don't think he's guilty either. It makes you wonder, you guys, how many people... Oh, I saw it, Taylor. Thank you, hon. How many people have been executed that have been innocent people? That's a scary thought, isn't it? Not to mention the people that are behind bars that are innocent. But how many people have actually been executed? And they're innocent, guys. That's the scariest thought I've had in a long time. 10 hours. That's right, contestant. 10 hours, guys. If this man's innocent, he's about to lose his life in 10 hours for nothing. Good God Almighty, please watch over this situation. That's all I can say is for everybody to pray that this man is pardoned within that 10-hour period of time.
And I think that's what you're picking up on, the idea that there might be one possibility, and especially in a case like this where there is, significant evidence that prosecutors themselves contributed to the loss of the only evidence that could exculpate this defendant. It's troubling, and that those prosecutors themselves have joined with the defendant's lawyers in an attempt to stay the execution is remarkable, and something that should give the courts pause here, I think, but have not.
Really quickly, any other options for him?
Well, he has one last option with the U.S. Supreme Court. He's asked for a stay of his execution based on that argument, the constitutional argument that the juror was wrongfully excluded due to race. We have not yet heard from the Supreme Court. He is scheduled to be executed, as you said, later today. So, we're waiting that last minute, the response to that last minute petition.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much.
Scared to death, guys. Scared to death for my country. Honestly. Anybody. In Clemency's statement, the family defines closure as Marcellus being allowed to live. The clemency petition stated Marcellus' execution is not necessary. That's who they were repeatedly delayed execution that has raised alarms related to DNA evidence and questions of fairness from his 2001 trial. After 2 last-minute execution reprieves starting almost a decade ago, momentum to re-examine Williams' decades-old conviction has gathered from unlikely sources, including the local prosecutor from the office that convicted him. Williams has since received an outpouring of support from legal groups like the Midwest Innocence Project, there's one, and a member of Congress. The family of the victim of 98 St. Louis stabbing now opposes Williams' execution. Why is he on death row? On August 11th of 98, Felicia, hold on a minute, guys. I'm taking notes on this as well. Felicia Gale, a former reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, was found stabbed to death in her suburban St. Louis home. Though forensic evidence at the crime scene included fingerprints, footprints, hair, and DNA on a kitchen knife, the investigation stretched on for more than a year without an arrest. Williams, who denied killing Gale, was eventually convicted of a murder despite his DNA not matching the forensic evidence recovered from the crime scene. How does that work? How do you convict somebody of a murder that has different DNA than what's found on the murder weapon, you guys. I don't understand this at all, okay? There wasn't a match. There's a problem with that, okay? His current attorney said his conviction was built upon testimony from 2 unreliable witnesses. There's another problem. Who had incentives to point the finger at Williams. Reward money in a bargain for shorter sentences in their own criminal cases. So we took the word of 2 criminals to help convict this man to death row. Are you kidding me? This is insane to me. It's Missouri, Terry. This could happen to that's absolutely right. This could happen to anybody, folks. That's the scary part of this. This goes back to DNA bullshit again. The touch DNA, regular DNA. It's not a solid situation, okay? This is insane. I hope so too, Crystal. Definitely. So, reward money in a bargain to shorten their sentences in their own criminal cases. Are you serious? Yo.
Range of possibilities and estimates
Have a long ballot in November packed with important issues, and you've already most likely seen the ads on both sides of Amendment 2. KBC9's Matt Evans is fact-checking the argument around legalizing sports betting.
This fall.
No, I thought that had something to do with it. It doesn't. My apologies. So, the Midwest Innocence Project, which has taken up Williams' case, said the incentives of the witnesses in his case are particularly problematic. Jailhouse informant testimony played a role in 23% of death penalty exoneration cases, according to data from the National Registry of Exonerations at the University of Michigan. What has recently happened in Williams' case, he was twice spared from execution. First by the state Supreme Court in 2015 and 2017, when Governor Eric Greitens granted Williams a reprieve. Persuaded by, I'm saying the wrong word when I'm saying pardon. I'm sorry about that. Persuaded by arguments that new DNA testing exonerated Williams, Greitens appointed a board of inquiry to investigate the new claims. The board was abruptly disbanded in 2023 by Greitens' successor, Governor Mike Parson, before it issued a final report. See, that's another thing. Why did that happen? That's a questionable issue right there. So it was abruptly disbanded. As soon as Governor Parsons became governor and jumped into office, he automatically broke down this inquiry. Why? That's strange to me. Is there a personal vendetta with this man, possibly? Thank you, Leslie. Brian Etten. That's it right there. Who are they protecting? Thank you, Sherry. Who are they protecting? Why did Governor Parsons, the moment he became governor, disband this inquiry and automatically go forward with this? What is going on over there, guys? Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it sure as hell looks that way to me. Almost personal. Almost personal. Welcome, Miss Christina. Thank you for joining us. Parsons is corrupt. I got to agree with you, ma'am. I have covered multiple things in Missouri. I got issues with the man. I do. This is nuts. Persuaded by arguments that the new DNA testing exonerated Williams. Okay, we're past that. Parsons said last year that it was time to move forward with the execution. Why? I don't know how long Parsons has been governor, Alicia, but damn. It turned political. It's different parties that took over. Okay, there you go. Got you. There's our doodle bug. I wish you would join me up here today, Miss Doodle. We're talking about Marcellus Williams. Welcome to the first episode of Coffee and Current Events with Dago. And Murky Piglet Doodle brought up the fact that Marcellus Williams has been sitting on death row for years, is slated to be executed today at 6 p.m. And Basically, it looks as though he's innocent. So, and this is in the state of Missouri, of course. Final term. This is it. And I got issues with it now. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be current events, but this is important. So that's why this is a current event. Unbelievable, you guys. Meanwhile, St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell learned of the new DNA testing and says he could exonerate Williams. How about that? Then once that statement was made, that should have stopped everything right there. That should have been something that should have been, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Let's look at this. Let's look at this now before we make this mistake and kill an innocent man. Let's stop and look at this. That's all I'm saying. Sorry. So, Bell's office then sought to spare Williams the death penalty with an Alford plea, okay, which would allow Williams to plead guilty without admitting to the crime to accept a plea bargain resulting in life in prison. The state Supreme Court in Bailey blocked the deal. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Damn it. This month, Williams' attorney argued before a St. Louis County Circuit Court judge that the prosecution's mishandling of evidence years ago destroyed Williams' last and best chance to prove his innocence, attorney Jonathan Potts said. According to the Associated Press, the circuit court judge declined to vacate Williams' conviction and death sentence. Parsons rejected Williams' clemency request, while the state Supreme Court on Monday rejected his request to pause his execution. So a lower court could determine whether prosecutors wrongly excluded black potential jurors at his criminal trial, which did happen. That's it. That's it. You have the right to an Alford plea. He has that option. They're not allowing this. This is insane, you guys. Lawmakers, including Representative Cori Bush, have urged the state to stop the execution. What's next in Williams' case? Williams is scheduled to be executed Tuesday evening at the Potosi Correctional Center, about 70 miles southwest of St. Louis. On Monday afternoon, Williams asked the United States Supreme Court to stay his execution based on evidence of racial bias in his jury selection, where they excused the juror because he was a young black man that wore glasses. What is going on in Missouri? It's okay, guys. Just saying, this is just as wrong as it gets. As wrong as it gets. I think we may have a special guest joining us here. Somebody that lives in the state of Missouri. Somebody that is a retired law enforcement officer. Somebody that knows the stuff that goes on in Missouri. You guys know who she is. We love our doodle. So again, I'd like to hear her thoughts and her feelings on this, you guys. I don't know if or what she knows of this case. Yes, Doodlebug. And it's just to know from somebody that lives in this state, that worked in law enforcement, is important to me to hear her opinions on this stuff, if she knows about the case. Even if she doesn't. Doodle's always very level-headed. She's always got good, feelings and opinions on things, in my opinion. So what's next is Williams is scheduled to be executed Tuesday, of course, like we said. This is insane, though. Absolutely insane. Jesus. I don't understand our world anymore, you guys. Now, that being said, real quick, while we're waiting on Doodle to jump in with us, I have, Miss Taylor sent me another one. Arctic was talking about it as well. It is where did it go? I think this is it right here. Yep, this is the one. Give me a second here. We'll check this out real fast too, and then we'll get back to here when Doodle comes up to listen to what she thinks on this. We got 63 likes, you guys. Please make sure to hit that like button when you're coming through the door. I appreciate that very much. Hold on here. Okay. Murky just said that during voir dire, they eliminated 6 of 7 black prospective jurors. The jury ultimately had 11 white members and 1 black member. That is the one they dismissed. Okay, so this is not a jury of this man's peers, in my opinion. This man's peers would include more than 1 black juror. Now they dismissed this guy because he's black and wears glasses and he's young. I don't know what the whole reason, other than the fact that he was black. That is insane bullshit to me, you guys, and is completely unfair. Not to mention, we had a prosecutor handle this weapon 5 times without gloves. Are you kidding me? I really appreciate your input on this, Murky. I'd have never known about this. Doodle's a former law enforcement officer, JC. Yes, she is. Retired. Police officer. Sorry. That's why she's such an important part of this team. It's always good to have her input on these things too, knowing and being involved. So this is another situation alongside his mom. Oklahoma death row inmate pleads for clemency days before execution. This is out of Oklahoma, guys. This happened. This was from August. So let me see here real quick. So this is not. This goes on all over the place, sadly, unfortunately. But again,
and I would appreciate if he was to save my life.
That's Emmanuel Littlejohn's message to Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt just days before Littlejohn is set to be executed for the murder of Oklahoma City convenience store owner Kenneth Mears during a robbery over 30 years ago. Back in August, in a 3-2 vote, Oklahoma's Pardon and Parole Board recommended clemency for the death row inmate. Back then, just like today, Littlejohn insisted his accomplice is the lone shooter.
I committed a robbery that had devastating consequences. But I repeat, I did not kill Mr. Mears.
A similar message was shared today during a presser with anti-death penalty advocates.
If they go forward with this execution, then they're going to be wheeling a very sick man into a death chamber using a wheelchair and executing somebody that does not need to be killed, even if he were guilty.
Despite
now, I also thought, that's interesting, because I thought that you had to be in good health to be executed. Am I wrong? Somebody, please. I always thought that you had to be in good health to be able to be executed. You couldn't go into the gas chamber or be executed if you're having health issues at that point. I may be wrong, and if I am, it's okay. I understand. But my understanding was you couldn't be. You had to be in good health before you were executed. I know that sounds dumb, but that's what I understood. This man's not. There's another problem with this case here alone. First problem I'm seeing, if that's true.
the board's recommendation in August, the Mears family and Oklahoma's Attorney General Gettner Drummond want the execution to proceed. His office sending a statement to KOCO5 calling Littlejohn's death sentence legally correct and that it will mark the delivery of final justice for Mears, a hardworking Oklahoman killed over a few $100s. Stitt has until Thursday morning to decide whether or not to grant clemency. He hasn't done so since Julius Jones was set to be put to death back in 2021. Via statement, his office told me the governor has not reached a decision yet, that he is still considering all the facts and evidence as well as the recommendations from the Pardon and Parole Board. Reporting the newsroom, I'm Andy Weber, KOCO 5 News.
Oh, there we are. There's another one. Thank you, Miss Sherry. Again, that information brought to us via Miss Taylor with Stitchin' Bitchin' and more. Another great channel out here. There's the link to it. I will be joining her as well as with Arctic Fox here relatively soon for a roundtable discussion because I owe it to her. And we know why, because I messed up. I didn't have the ability to join her for her last show, and that is just not okay. So, guys, please check out Miss Taylor's channel. Click on that link. Subscribe if you have not. Show some love. Show some respect. She has a great channel. She's a great person. And she's out here for the right reasons, just like the rest of us here are. So please go over there and check it out. Please, please, and please, please. I appreciate that so very much, you guys. And thanks, Taylor, for bringing this to us as well. Another situation, guys. We can't be doing these things, guys. This is insane. More details about Williams' case. Attorneys for Williams said that the fingerprints, a bloody shoe print, hair, and other evidence at that crime scene did not match Williams. There it is. How did they do this to begin with? What's up, Demon Dog? Welcome and good morning to you. Welcome to Coffee and Current Events with Dago in the morning. First episode. It's great to have you all here with this. Good morning, Virginia Wolf. Good to have you. Good to see you here. You're good to go, brother. I understand. These are the questions that we all wonder, Squishy. Truly. You're okay, Croc. No problem. I have issues with all this, you guys. Things need to be done the right way. Period. Insanity. Insanity, insanity, insanity. By the way, Doodle, your link is in the Discord once you're ready. Okay, hon. I don't mind meatballs in the morning. Glad to see them here. I'm absolutely correct. Or I'm absolutely agreeable. Sorry, I'm reading. Yes, JC, let me see. So this man with a shadow of a doubt about to be executed, however, Mr. Guilty of murdering Raymond may get an extension, make it make sense. I can't because it don't. None of it does. None of it does. I've seen it, JC, and you're right. Yes, it is. Wish I was part of y'all's Discord. I thought you are, Taylor. Aren't you in there? I thought you were. Maybe not. We'll get you in there. If I can find Miss Brandy, we can get you in there. That's no problem. None at all. We will make that happen, Miss Taylor. No worries. Absolutely no worries. Yep, there it is right there. Miss Alicia's telling you. Email right there, Brandy at mama350@AOL.com. Title it Discord link, and she will set you up. I hope she's okay. I haven't seen her today. Maybe she didn't get the notification. Like I said, Miss Brandy's had some things going on recently, personal things, so. I'll tell you what, I am enjoying this morning, folks. I'm enjoying having y'all here today. And if this keeps going well, then we're going to continue to do this, you guys. I love it. Okay, so too many of these things happening. Come on up, Miss JC. It's always a pleasure to have you up here as well. Hold on one second. I'll send you a link in Discord, hon. I always enjoy conversations with you, Miss JC. Oh, absolutely, Miss Crystal. We're going to be covering, why can't I think right now? Doodle, if you're still here, hon, before you join me. Miss Sherry says, warning, we get snarky in there. Oh, they're not bad in there, guys. It's an awesome Discord. I love it. There's a case we're covering out of Missouri, Miss Crystal, that's coming up real soon here. I had to reschedule because she was sick this past week. It falls in line with a lot of the other stuff that I've covered out of Missouri. Timmy's case, and a few other cases I've covered as well. It's another case. I can't think of the name right now because of all this stuff already, but as soon as Doodle pops up here or pop back in the chat, I'll give you the name on it we're covering, but that's coming up very soon here too as well. Welcome, Miss JC. How are you today?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so glad that I just get to hang out because I'm normally sleeping at this time, but I have today and tomorrow off, which is a rarity during the week.
2 days in a row? That's awesome.
I know, because I'm working on Friday, but
well, that sucks, but still 2 days in a row is awesome.
Yeah, especially for me during the week because it never happens.
Right. That's good because you get to join us today.
Yes.
And like I said, this is a new thing I'm trying. It's called, I might change the name up, but Coffee and Current Events with Dago in the morning.
I love it.
Okay, good. I'm glad to see that. I see we got a fairly decent turnout for it. I was surprised. I was worried because I didn't know how many people would be up and awake, and the whole point behind it. And we'll get it worked out. But this story today really hit me hard. That's why we're still on it, and not other things. But what it's about basically is to cover things that are going on in the world, current events, not necessarily just crime, but whatever's going on in the world every morning or so before we get started for the day, or that's how we get the day started. And we'll see how it works out. It seems to be so far.
This is crazy because this is an absolute urgent situation right now.
It's been, yes, I do agree. You are absolutely right, my dear. And
okay, what is? I don't know if you know of this, but did I literally hear that one guy was they were about ready to execute him? And
tonight, 6 p.m. tonight, yes, ma'am.
No, another case, but
some
guy was about ready to be executed, and when he was in the chamber and everything, and somebody walked in with some papers.
That's called a reprieve. They do it. It's happened before. I can't remember what the name of the case was.
But you have heard of it, right?
Oh yeah, it happens. The governor can give a reprieve at any time, and there was a case. It's been about 15 years ago, I think, where it was going to be lethal injection.
Yeah.
And they literally had the needle getting ready to plug into the IV, and they got the paperwork on it, and they stopped right there. Thank God. You know what I mean? But the thing is this is permanent, folks. This is what bothers me. This is be all end all permanent. You cannot go back from this. Welcome, Bling. Good to see you this morning. And it's done. It's done. And if in 2 days, there she is. Hold on a minute.
I want to get Doodle's opinion on this too, because I just want to know, I just want to bring home the point why it is so important on a death row case or a death penalty case,
right,
to be 1,000% sure.
100%. Doodle, you're muted. I don't know if you knew that, hun.
And I mean, I know what you think, Dago, but I also want to hear what Doodle thinks because of.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to do it. I mean, she's also she lives in. She's a Missouri resident. She worked in law enforcement in Missouri.
Yeah.
And so you're fine, Murky. Thank you for bringing this to us. I appreciate it. Doodle, can you hear me, hun?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. You sound awesome. That's great. Good morning, dear.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for joining us up here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So this is
this
is a Wesley Bell case. Is that what you said?
This is the Marcellus Williams.
Oh, okay.
Slated for welcome, Gone Girl, gone. Good to see you. Slated for execution 6 p.m. today. I don't know what all you caught. I know you came in a little bit after, but there's been, of course, it's in Missouri. And he was convicted of stabbing 43 times Felicia Gale in 2001. Convicted of it. The evidence, the DNA evidence, was found to not be his on the weapon per se. That's one thing. When the weapon was brought into court, it was handled 5 different times by the prosecution without gloves on. There's the other side of it. There was other, like Murky had said here just a few minutes ago. Let me see it where it went. Meatballs in the morning. Maybe that's what I'll call this. I like that. Oh, here we go. The fingerprints, a bloody shoe print, hair, and other evidence at the crime scene did not match his as well. Okay, and the family of the victim, Felicia's family, have said, do not do this. A prosecuting attorney has said, do not do this. There's 1 million+ signatures on a petition that have said, do not do this. This man will not, the governor will not give a reprieve on this. And nobody understands what the hell the problem is with this. It's crazy. He's also involved in the Midwest Innocence Program, so on and so forth. And again, we know Missouri, okay? And unfortunate, I'm whoa. We good? You still here, JC?
Yep.
Doodle, you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so that's what's going on with this, and it's been years now, and now all of a sudden, it's the day, and the governor refuses to sign off on this.
Wow. Well, I know in 2018, Wesley Bell and Parsons both got elected in. I know.
Yeah.
He's kind of known. Wesley Bell is kind of known for this kind of situation.
Right, and that's what Parsons. There was an inquiry group put together before the previous. Welcome, my brother, Arctic Fox. Good to have you here, bud.
Hey.
Parsons. When Parsons was elected as governor, there was an inquiry that was put together with the previous governor. I can't remember his name. That was looking into this whole situation to try to work it out, whether it's real or not. Whatever, innocent, guilty, however. As soon as Parsons was elected, he disbanded this inquiry and moved forward with this immediately. For whatever reason, I don't know. It's kind of creepy to look at it and hear it that way, but that's what it is. So,
was the victim law enforcement or anything like that? The victim?
No, that's what I wondered at first. She was a reporter for a specific local paper, and I had to wonder what story was she working on at that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
And I wonder which paper. Was it the St. Louis the Post-Dispatch?
Yes, that's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's
also, did you say that her own family is petitioning that he not?
Yes.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
There's Miss Brandy right there. Brandy,
what I want to know,
yes, sir,
is how did this even go to trial, much less get a conviction with the contaminated evidence, with all the DNA faults and everything else in this case? I don't even see how they were able to convict this guy. And then they're using known criminals for testimony against this guy, cutting them deals in exchange for their testimony. I mean, and you have a family that's saying, "Hey, don't put this guy to death." This is the most corrupt case I've ever seen in my life. But yet, you pieces where all the evidence, huh?
And it's a DP case.
Yeah, that's
Go
the biggest
ahead.
part of it.
That's
She said it's a death penalty case. That's the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
It's DP.
Did he have a prior
You
record?
know, you can.
That I don't know.
That's
I
a
just
good
found
question.
it is. This is why I wanted you up here, Diddle, because I knew that you would think of these things. I don't know if he did. Murky was in here. She might be back. I don't know if he did or if he didn't. They didn't mention it in any of the stuff we watched this morning. And like I said, I just heard this morning. But that is a really good question. Did he? Is this something that they're looking at like, okay, he's done this, and this. This is it.
It makes me wonder if he has a prior that would lead them to believe that he is guilty of this from that prior. But I don't know. I mean, every case is different, so you really can't go by that either. Because I mean, if he wasn't convicted, you really can't. So I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, though. The biggest part of this is there's even a slight shadow of a doubt in a death penalty case. It should be stopped right then and there. Then there was. Prosecution has said.
In my opinion, the only cases that should even be optional for the death penalty is if you have 100% concrete DNA evidence that, without a doubt, proves that this person committed the crime. That's it.
Amen.
Period.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm right there with you. Real quick, Brandy, I don't know. You should have received an email from Miss Taylor about the Discord. If you did, please go ahead with that and get her rolled in there if you could, please, and thank you, hon. And you're fine. No worries about being late or whatever. I know what you're dealing with, so you do what you got to do, dear. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, if there is even a slight doubt on this, how could you go forward with this? You know what I'm saying? That's just, I don't understand that. Now, like Doodle said, prior convictions or prior record, maybe. It wasn't discussed at all, though. And typically, I don't know if there was something, if this man had murdered somebody in the past, if this man had, multiple arrests for this, that, or anything else. Okay, that would make some sense to me, but not enough for it to go forward with the death penalty. Okay. I don't understand. Like Arctic said, it should be 100 200%.
1,000%.
Yes, thank you. 1,000% for sure before you put the letters DP on anything, in my opinion. And that is not this case at all. This is insane.
That's not even BK's case.
No.
You know what I mean? So
there is no forensic evidence that points to him. Nothing. No DNA on anything. Everything goes to someone else.
According to what we're getting here,
Yeah.
no.
Wow.
Do
That's
they
what I'm
know?
saying.
Do they know whose DNA it is?
Well, the DNA that popped up on this when they did challenge that ended up being a prosecutor's because he handled it without gloves. That's all that there was.
Oh, nice. That's real nice.
They see, that's what I mean. And then they're like Murky said, the stuff they found at the scene does not match him. I don't know who it matches, but it doesn't match him. So who the hell is this other person?
Wow. And this went before the Missouri Supreme Court too.
They haven't reacted to it as of yet.
Oh,
like,
okay.
What are you guys waiting on? It's the day off. Okay.
Well, from what I'm reading, it says the case came before Missouri Supreme Court after prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell and attorneys representing Williams filed a joint brief asking the court to send the case back to lower court.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Why would they ask that to go back to lower court if it's a death penalty case?
I don't know. That I don't understand.
I wonder if there's a tie between Wesley Bell and this guy. I mean,
or the victim, maybe. I mean, that's a good point.
Maybe because they do work with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch very closely.
Right. Okay.
So,
Cap says they found the victim's belongings were found in his car. Okay. That I didn't know. Like I said, I just heard this morning and I was just overwhelmed with like, what the hell, knowing that this man's going to die today. And where'd you go, Arctic? He might have hit a button or something, but he'll be back.
You know what prison he is in?
Yeah, he is in shit. Wherever Potosi.
Oh, Potosi. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, that's where Donna I went.
That's what I figured. I remembered the name. I remember that. Yeah, when we covered Donna's case.
I was thinking he would maybe in Bonne Terre, but that's the next one that is Potosi. So.
It is in Bonne. That's where he's going to be executed. Is Bonne Terre.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. This is just nuts to me. And like I said, I kind of wanted your opinion, being that you live there and you've worked in law enforcement.
Yeah. I'm thinking they must, I don't know. I mean, from one side, I want to think this is crazy. How can they do this? But then again, there almost has to be something that led to him initially. Mm-hmm. I just wonder what that initial evidence was. And if they mishandled it, then that's on law enforcement. It
is. Yeah. Agreed. Hold on a minute. What we got going on here? What the hell?
Was OJ's case a death penalty?
I don't remember. It's been a long time, but I don't know. Arctic or
I don't believe so. I don't think they were trying to put him to death. I think they were only going for life in his case.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a minute here. Victoria, can you back down a little bit? Like, everybody has the right to their own feelings as much as you do. Let's please not go at other people that have adjacent feelings from what you feel, okay? I appreciate that very much, if you would. The two witnesses have passed away, so they can't recount if needed either. And that was the thing, like Arctic brought up again. A lot of the testimony, the witness testimony, was from other criminals that were their sentences were shortened by testifying. There was reward money that was handed out to people for certain things and this and that. So how is that trustworthy, in my opinion? You know, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. This is a big problem. And like I said, I just showed you there's another case going on in Oklahoma. This doesn't seem to be, it's all over the place, that it's not being done the right way. I'll just put it that way.
It makes me really scared.
It is. Yes.
That somebody can be framed like that. You know what I mean?
Or
it makes me fear for myself.
That's what we were saying. That's exactly what we were saying, is that it's very scary, because again, when we talked about this months ago, a year ago, in the Idaho 4 case, not to bring that case up as much as I don't like to, but because of the type of DNA, that case, it's that easy for you to be collared for a situation that you may have had nothing to do with, you guys. And now a man's going to lose his life today at 6 o'clock this evening, very possibly an innocent man. And you can't turn that around. You can't change that. Once he's dead, guys, he's gone. What do we do after that in a week or a month or a year when they come back and say, well, here it is. Marcellus didn't do this. What?
It makes me aware of, want to be aware of absolutely everything I touch.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
This is why people don't want to interact in society anymore. They don't want to be involved with anything anymore. They don't want to do anything anymore. We're cornered, guys. Because what if this happens? A completely innocent person that's not doing anything at all. And I'm not saying Marcellus was innocent of everything. We don't know his history at this point. But it could happen to somebody that's that innocent, in my opinion. Okay.
And you can be a criminal without being a killer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, very much so.
Oh, Lord.
Very, very much so. So you weren't familiar with this one, Doodle, before today?
No, I mean, I have seen it like on our local news and stuff like that, but you have to see that I see so much of this. So I don't,
of course.
This one didn't really, I know the, Bernie, the Michael Poley, I know that was the Innocence program. That was major from around here. So
that's another one. Thank you. That's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, retell that short version of that story real fast.
He was like, I think he was almost 14 years old, and they lived in a mobile home. The mobile home had burned up. He had a friend over. They pinned it on him. The police questioned him without his parents being there.
Right.
He spent all of his childhood, 30 years, Dago?
30 years.
He spent 30 years in prison, and he just got released a few years ago.
Absolutely. And then, again, this is in the same area, guys. Missouri.
2 hours. It's 2 hours from St. Louis, from this one.
Right. So, again, and that's an open case at this point because they don't know who did it if he didn't do it. Okay.
Yep.
So, again, I covered that case about a year ago. I think it was now, or roughly. Welcome, Phil Biggs. Good to see you.
Wait, he burnt down a house?
No, his mother was inside the mobile home. Him, his friend Josh, and his mother. And someone had killed his mother and set the mobile home on fire. And they woke up
and they pinned it on him. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yes, and they said that his shoes came back, that he had some kind of flammable material. And to find out it was the soles of his shoes that tested that.
They were made out of that type of material.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this happens all too often, in my opinion. And here's the thing. We got two things that happen when this happens like this. One, we're taking people's lives away by keeping them in prison for 30 to 40, 50 years. Two, if it's a DP case, we're killing people, innocent people. And three, the person that committed these crimes is still walking free with the rest of the world. These three things are horrifying to me. Just saying.
I can't even think about it. I mean, it's awful.
So he originally had a jury trial, and they found him guilty, right?
They did. And that's the other thing, too, I forgot to tell you. They pulled his jury. Trials by jury, you're supposed to have a jury of your peers, okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
There was one black man on his jury that they pulled because he was a young black man that wore glasses.
That was literally their excuse.
Yeah.
That's actually common. That's actually common, which is terrible, but it is
actually
for the state of Missouri. It is. Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Well, there's no peers as far as I'm concerned because the man is a black man. Where's your peers at, sir? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I think they look at it like the town.
You don't have to have every single person be a black person, but at least
yeah.
I mean, at least be some on the jury, though. I mean, you 100%. Can't have it looking like a Ku Klux Klan rally and expect that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That is true.
It needs to be unracial. How do I want to say this? Unracial bias.
Bias. Yes. Exactly.
Well, you are talking about Missouri, so they are known for this. I'm just saying. And this Wesley Bell, the fact that he's an African American, you think he would have fought for this man a little harder?
You would want to.
I would have. I mean.
Well, at the same time, though, there's also the excuse that if he did, then they would look at him in a different way because of that, too. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right.
Which is bullshit, but it is what it is. This is what these people do. 1 second.
That's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking.
It absolutely is.
And this man is sitting.
But yeah, this guy is sitting here. He's got literally 6 hours, 5 hours before he loses his life forever. Secret Life of David Gale. What is that? I worry people will also stop cooperating with police as witnesses after seeing what the witnesses are going through in the Soto case. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Toby. Very good point. So, it's home. It's heartbreaking. Yes, I agree. I do agree. Anyway, Arctic always has good comebacks. Sherry, he always knows what to say. Exactly every time. Never fails. So, hold on a minute here. I was trying to find, since Doodle popped up here, and Jesus, I can't talk today. JC as well. Let me give you guys a little insight real quick. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Hold on a minute. Like I said, I wasn't expecting this today, but what are your thoughts? I called the governor's office, and of course, it went to this stupid voicemail thing that you'll never talk to anybody in there. Okay, this is insane to me. Here, let's see this here real quick. Hold on. It's okay. All right, let's see.
Closing days leading to Marcellus Williams' execution are in motion as tomorrow marks the last oral hearings in front of the Missouri Supreme Court. Fox 2's Caroline Petty is live in Maryland Heights tonight with the latest updates on how officials and citizens alike are taking major steps in a final push to deter his execution. Caroline?
Mandy, yesterday, St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell and Marcellus Williams asked the Missouri Supreme Court to send the case back to the St. Louis County Circuit Court for a full hearing. Bell wants Williams' conviction and death sentence overturned due to the serious concerns about his innocence and alleged racial bias in the jury selection. Williams has also requested the court to delay his execution, which is set for Tuesday, September 24th. The Missouri Supreme Court will hear oral arguments Monday in the case of 55-year-old Marcellus Williams, who spent 24 years on death row for a crime he maintains he did not commit. Williams was convicted of the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale, despite no physical evidence. In 2015, the Missouri Supreme Court stayed the execution and ordered DNA testing on the murder weapon. The DNA was not a match to Williams, and trial testimony has been called into question.
How do you convict somebody of a murder and send them to death row with no physical evidence whatsoever? A death penalty case. I don't understand this, you guys. This is what I'm struggling with mostly.
What year did he get convicted? It's been a while, so like
2001.
Oh wow. Okay.
The murder happened in 98 and the trial ended in 01.
Wow.
He's still okay. So if
Yes,
he would
Taylor,
have
it
gotten,
is.
if he would have gotten life in prison, okay,
Mm-hmm.
a life sentence is what considered to be 60 years.
I believe it's in the 30s. Isn't it 30?
But yeah, but you have to serve so much of that, right?
Yeah, I think it's 25 to 30 years. Yeah. Because typically 25 to life, 30 to life, things like that. So yeah, I think it's Crystal says 23 years. So okay. Absolutely.
So he's almost not even served a life sentence.
He's almost serving out. Yeah.
Almost a life sentence. And
yeah. Absolutely.
Well, a life sentence is a 30-year prison sentence, with the exception of first-degree murder, though. First-degree murder is
first-degree murder. You don't get.
They're convicted; they'll die in prison
without parole. Right.
Right.
But what if you get? Is there such thing as life in prison with the possibility of parole?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so. Oh my gosh.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Is all I'm saying. How there's no physical evidence. None.
Yeah.
How is there no physical evidence and you're convicting this person and giving them the death penalty? I don't understand this.
How does it get from that point to that point? There's got to be something that we don't.
Well,
I mean,
okay, this is what I'm agreeing with. Yeah, Doodle had a great point saying, did he have a previous criminal history? There's one. Two, who was this Felicia woman either related to, close to, or in my opinion, I can't get this out of the back of my head now. What case was she, or what story was she working on, or stories was she working on when this happened to her? Did this man just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? They found her belongings in his vehicle. That don't mean shit to me nowadays because people can put things anywhere they want. Okay. Okay. Cap must be looking into him. Thank you, sir. Cap says that he was arrested originally for a string of robberies in St. Louis before they indicted him on the homicide. There you go, Doodle. But robberies is not murder. Okay.
I was going to say.
Okay. So I wonder if she was robbed. Which would mean that her belongings being in his car would make sense if he would have robbed her home or something like that.
Very possible, yes.
But that doesn't mean he murdered her.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. She was stabbed 43, 44 times. Now, during the commission of the robbery, okay.
Well, that's personal. That's very personal.
We know that because of Idaho. Absolutely. And other cases we've seen, this because of what you did, Doodle. So yes, it's very personal. This is just so hard for me to accept. You know what I'm saying? I'm not comfortable with this by any means. Like I said, and I think Arctic said this earlier too. He doesn't have an issue with the death penalty itself. He has an issue with people being innocent, or not even innocent, but there's being a doubt on something and them being given the death penalty. That's where my issue lies as well. And again, the state of Missouri, no offense, Doodle, I love you. And anybody that lives there, no offense, but we've seen a lot of very strange stuff come out of Missouri.
There is. I'm right by Missouri. I'm in Nebraska, in Omaha, and that's right by Missouri. And yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have Timmy Dees and Durante, you have Doug Teal, you have all that just a few hours from there.
That's the one that's it. Doug Teal. That's the case that I'm going to be covering here relatively soon with Doodle as well.
Yes.
Another weird situation that makes no sense. The law enforcement side of it is not right. There's big issues with it, just like there was with Timmy's, Durante's, and all the stuff that when Miss Mandy Yates joined us, she talked about. Along with all of that, it all flows together. I'm just saying. If Miss Barbara was in here, she would tell you all about it. I'm telling you, she knows. So let's see. Governor has a long statement on this on his site. What is the site, Cap? I'll pull it up real quick. Let me finish this video real quick.
We got a lot of cases in Missouri.
I'm sorry, Arctic. I'm sorry, brother. I understand. That's why I wasn't here all day yesterday, guys, as my internet is garbage. So Michaela Jones, yes, Miss Crystal. Crystal Williams is all about Missouri stuff. She knows it as well, very much so. I believe she's a resident. And thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Oh yes, Michaela was heartbreaking. Oh my goodness, her mama it was so heartbreaking.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Cap. Yeah, give me the link or show me the title it, whatever it is, and I'll go find it real quick. We'll finish this video out real fast so that you guys can see the rest of this, and then we'll move on to that.
Keeping doubts about his innocence alive. The execution was stayed again in 2017. A third execution date was eventually set for this Tuesday.
Missouri does what it has done many times in executing someone, even innocent people. Missouri has executed innocent people before. Our country has executed innocent people. So that's definitely the worst outcome, and that will send a message to our citizens that justice is actually not what, our Attorney General or our governor is seeking.
Nearly 1 million people, including the victim's family and some jurors, have signed a clemency petition to spare Williams' life. St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell telling Fox 2 on Sunday, even for those who disagree on the death penalty, when there is a shadow of a doubt of any defendant's guilt, the irreversible punishment of execution should not be an option.
This is the prosecuting attorney, over 1 million people plus family members saying don't do this, and they're still going forward with it, you guys. I don't understand this. I just can't. I don't understand this. Nothing showed up, Cap. I don't know if you can not drop it in or not. He probably can't put a link in here. That's probably what it is. You'll just have to type the name of it, Cap, without the link. I'm sorry, bud. It won't allow you guys to put links in here. Crystal says she's a resident St. Francis County, and 2 or 3 surrounding counties around are straight corrupt. I know. Doodle says I agree. That'll work, Cap. Thanks, bro. So yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, this wasn't my goal today because I had no idea about this, was to focus on this, but it's a current event, and so is my phone ringing again. Jesus, I'm not answering this one. For 3 days, I've had non-stop calls from telemarketers talking about some stupid
political campaign.
Yeah, yes, is what it is. Insurance and political campaigns, and I keep telling them not to call me. It's the same number calling me back every time. So, how does this man Marcellus feel? He feels unjust. He says he didn't do it. They're about to. He said the Missouri wants to kill me. Those were his statement. Again, Arctic, I'm sorry about your internet, brother. I understand completely, and I know you wanted to be up here, so it's not your fault. Oh my God, you guys, what is going on in the world?
Is it worse in some areas than it is in others, and just within the state?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Doodle, can you answer that question? Is it worse in certain areas in Missouri than it is in the whole state, or is it just the state?
Well, St. Louis is big. There's so much
Yeah.
crime there. I mean, of course, crime is going to be bigger there. It's a bigger city. But a lot of these small towns, that's where a lot of corruption starts, because you have maybe a sergeant who, his dad was also a sergeant, and he comes from a whole family of law enforcement. And then you have a whole new ballgame, because then nobody fools with that family, because if you don't have a name and you don't have that cash to back you up, you're no one.
Yep. Yeah. That makes sense. That is right. Some would rather die than life in prison. I understand that too, Gone Girl, but this man is proclaiming and has proclaimed from day one that he's innocent of the crime. That's a different story to me. So, agreed.
Because eventually don't most guilty people confess? Eventually.
At some point, like if somebody has been given the death penalty and they're down to the end and they know, sometimes, yes, they do. But there are people that have gone to the chair, guys, or to the gas chamber that have proclaimed their innocence all the way till they're gone. That does happen too. I'm not saying that everybody would say that they're, you know what I mean, that they're guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
It does happen.
There's some people that I just don't think will. I mean, there is like 100%, 1,000% evidence, and they will still not ever admit that they.
Well, and that's the thing with this case that gets me is there is no physical evidence, and there is complete and total reason to believe that this man didn't do this, and they're gonna kill him. Basically, I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's what they're about to do, guys. Yes, Arctic, there's up there Michaela, Timmy, Durante, Mark Fullerton, JP Parton, David Bowers, Ashley Whitlock. That's another bad one. Jonah Nosley, Echo Lloyd, all Missouri cases where the system has failed families, and I could list more, and he's right. There's so many more. So according to the statement, governor not going to issue a stay or commence the sentence. What is that? Does anybody know the governor's website by chance? I'm going to look this up real quick because I want this guy is like irritating me now. Like I said, I got to wonder, why did Nick Lowry, there's another one. Why did he immediately shut down the inquiry when he became governor and say, his statement on this, one of the statements he made was, it's time for this to happen. Really? Okay. Whether it's believed that he's innocent or guilty, you're comfortable with sending this on. I don't like that, and it really does bug me. So let me see if I can pull this. Oh, thanks, Cap. Hold on a minute here. My God. One second, y'all.
Dago, you're still muted if you're trying to talk.
Hang on. Sorry, Mrs. Dago called, said, thank you all so very much for supporting the channel. Much love to everybody. She said thank you. So this state to carry out sentence of Mr. Marcellus Williams, according to Supreme Court of Missouri order. This is as of today. Jefferson City today, Governor Mike Parson confirmed the state of Missouri will carry out the sentence of Marcellus Williams on Tuesday. Hold on, let me see if I can blow this up for you guys a little bit. That might be a better. Okay. He says Marcellus Williams murdered Felicia Gale August 11th, 98. He burglarized. There's the answer to that, doodle. Mrs. Gale's home, ambushed her as she left the shower, stabbed her 43 times, and left the knife lodged in her neck. Jesus. Then stole the items from her home. Williams was identified as the suspect after he was arrested for a string of robberies in the St. Louis area. See, that's probably what made this theme to be what it was. Capital punishment cases are some of the hardest issues we have to address in the governor's office, but when it comes down to it, I follow the law and trust the integrity of our judicial system, Governor Parson said. The problem is, Mr. Governor, is your own prosecutor has said, hold off. Wait a minute. This is not right. And they're not, from my understanding, to follow what the family's feelings are on this. And they're saying, don't do this. This is where my problem lies. Why are you not seeing this for what it is, sir?
Were there any more evidence pointing to anyone else, since her belongings being in his vehicle makes me wonder. Now, if the DNA didn't point to, like if it didn't point to him, who exactly did it point to?
That's what I'm wondering too. Or were they not able to find that information? Is that why they settled on Marcellus, because they couldn't pull any information from the DNA or anything that related to anybody else? They weren't in the system.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like, they found her stuff in his car and thought, okay, he did it.
That's it. And that's ridiculous.
Sounds like another BK case.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of does. I also want to add how deeply disturbed we've been about how this case has been covered. Mr. Williams' attorneys chose to muddy the waters about DNA evidence, claims of which courts have repeatedly rejected. Yet some media outlets and activist groups have continued such claims without so much of a mention of the judicial proceedings or an unbiased analysis of the facts. I would just implore the media to do their due diligence and not rely on the sole claims of individuals who have a personal or monetary stake in this case. Okay, the facts are that Mr. Williams has been found guilty, not by the governor's office, but by a jury of his peers. That's not true.
But
That
that's
is not
but
true.
he didn't even have a fair trial, in my opinion.
No, and that part is not true, Mr. Governor. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, come on, Dago. Where did you leave off at? 1 second.
Doodle, are they just okay? This is what I was going to ask you, Doodle. Do they
Go ahead.
just have
Take
do
your
they
time.
just have a total sense of pride that they can't swallow? I mean,
No, it's everyone wants to be a hero. I mean, honestly, it's like everyone wants to solve the case. So if everything, her belongings being in the car, whoever did that, why they handled the evidence wrong, I'm not sure. Do you know how they mishandled it? Like, did the DNA not come back after they went to test it, or like what happened with that?
they didn't have gloves on.
Yeah, from my understanding, the prosecution handled the weapon 5 times without wearing gloves.
And this is Wesley Bell?
No, this was the previous prosecutor, I believe.
The female.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads to a whole new can of worms because she is known to let people get off of things. She was known for it. She would let everyone off, wouldn't convict anyone. So it makes me wonder if maybe he's the example by her mistake. They're going to show her by punishing him.
That does make some sense. It says Williams repeatedly alleged innocence despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. I don't see that, but none of the following fact-finding entities have been convicted of his innocence. Convinced of his innocence, sorry. A jury of his peers at trial. The Missouri Supreme Court during state habeas proceedings. Sorry about that. A board of inquiry, North 4, the St. Louis County Circuit Court. The state proved that Williams is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt due to a litany of factors listed below. DNA technology and testing before trial did not examine touch DNA. Based on standard techniques and practices at the time, additionally, subsequent DNA testing has never exonerated Williams. That's not what we were told. Excuse me. Williams has a robust, there's your answer to that question, has a robust criminal history, including 15 felony convictions in addition to offenses related to Ms. Gale's murder, robbery, 2 armed criminal action, 2 assault, 2 burglary, 4 stealing, 3 stealing motor vehicle, and unlawful use of a weapon, which is all consistent with entering the home, attacking Ms. Gale, and taking her items. Williams confessed the murder to his girlfriend soon after committing his horrific crime, once his girlfriend found Ms. Gale's purse in Williams' car. But he also threatened to kill her and her family if she told anyone, readily explaining why his girlfriend did not approach law enforcement until Williams was in custody. The girlfriend never requested the reward for information about Ms. Gale's murder, despite claims that she was only interested in money. When speaking with law enforcement, the jailhouse informant provided information about the crime that was not publicly available, yet consistent with crime scene evidence and Williams' involvement. So this is where some of the testimony came from. Other individuals.
Did you say he was convicted of 15 felonies?
Yeah, it says including 15 felony convictions in addition. Yes.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, this kind of looks like he could be the guy. I hate to say it, but I mean,
the way this is reading, yeah, I agree.
But they mishandled is the problem, I guess. Yeah. But as far as the crime,
don't you still have to have physical evidence though?
What's that?
I would still want physical evidence.
I agree. There's a little bit more here. Despite claims that she was only interested in money. Okay, we already did that. Other individuals are present when Williams bragged about this murder, and they were disclosed to Williams' team before trial and have been discussed in subsequent proceedings. Gale's personal items were found in the trunk of Williams' car. Williams sold Ms. Gale's husband's laptop to another individual who later identified Williams as the seller. Williams' disrespect for others' well-being and aversion to order have continued in prison, including attacking other inmates and threatening correctional officers. Okay. Well, I mean,
That's not good.
and this is from the governor. Okay. I don't know, you guys. I mean, the way he wrote this, it does make it sound like he could be, but
you also got to know who you're talking to.
Right. The mishandling of the evidence and the fact that there was no physical evidence that led to him is the issue that I have at the same time.
Yep.
So, and if you're robbing somebody's house, let me put it this way. If you're robbing somebody's house, you don't have a way to premeditate cleaning everything up. Okay? So, I don't know. I question that. Oh, shoot. Hold on 1 minute, everybody. Doodle, can you hold this for me for a second? I'll be right back. I grabbed my dog.
Sure. All right, guys, the boss is away. Let's say how we really feel.
I don't know. I don't know what he was about to say, but I'll just say if you're, like you say, like if you're going to rob a house, you can't premeditate cleaning it up. But also, if you're going to rob a house, you don't always, I don't know, you don't have to kill someone to rob a house. You know what I mean?
Right. I do have to wonder, though. I mean, he could have had this all planned out also. I mean, if he is a career criminal, he's had it planned out. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's just a guess. I mean, I don't know, but
you got to look at all sides.
Right. And I do feel like they didn't just pick him out of nowhere. So the fact that her clothes or her items were in his car, he confessed. His girlfriend knew about it. And then what was it? Someone else in prison that knew that he had confessed to and that knew details they shouldn't know. Only he would know those details. So I think the main issue with this will be that they mishandled
it.
But if he did it and they could prove that he did it, I can understand why they want to continue with this.
I agree.
The victim does deserve justice, of course.
That's very true. Why are the victims' families, though, or why is the victim's family saying don't do this?
Yeah.
I don't know. That is odd. Unless
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's serious. I mean, when the family says, "Hey, let him go," see, I don't. But have they been threatened? I mean, this is a career criminal. You just don't know.
I'm not saying let him out of jail and let him walk free, but I'm saying
no, not by any means. No, at least, at the very least, here's my opinion.
Don't put the needle in him.
That's it. If there is a shadow of a doubt on this situation, back off. Do an investigation. Hold him. Keep him and keep him on death row. Extend it. Give him. I don't know. Do something like that, but don't take the man's life until you know for 1,000,000% that this man did it. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that
they've had time. They've had plenty of time. This happened 2015 or no?
2001.
2001.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time. They should have been on this long before now.
I do agree. Let's see. You have a homicide victim's belongings in your car that you have no relationship or knowledge of. Agreed. That's a good point, Phil. Cap. And I agree with that too. Welcome, Phil Biggs. Good to see you. And that's another thing Phil just said. Not all victims or victims' families support capital punishment because Walt Harris in the house. We got our amazing and awesome and lovely Doodlebug and Miss JC as well on panel. Walt, thank you for joining us, sir. Even though you're late. Walt Harris.
I'm going to need more from you, Walt.
Yeah, Walt. Didn't he attack Miss Paula for being late one time? Get on Miss Cassie, I think. I don't know, Walt. I'm just kidding. We're good. So anyway, guys, I'm questioning the way that this is going down. I'm not saying that the man didn't do it. All I'm saying is if there's a doubt, even a slight doubt, this is somebody's life. It's not just taking away his life as far as keeping him in jail. It's not doing that. That's a different story. this is a human life that's going to be taken away. The light
for good.
Yeah, and you can't fix that. If there is that doubt turns into proof or a fact, you can't change that when he's gone, you guys. That's all I'm saying. That's what bothers me.
Even if the family is against the corporal punishment, okay, but they've had time now. I mean, that's a long time to grieve. So I still have to believe there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and it does sound like he could be guilty. I agree with that, you guys. But there's a doubt that's been brought up by a prosecutor. There's a doubt that's been brought up by a lot of other people. The doubt is what bothers me. Okay, that's all it is. Any doubt is what bothers me, that I couldn't comfortably say to take this man's life if I thought, well, wait a minute, maybe not. That would bug me for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, because there were jurors that signed this petition, so obviously people in the jury were not comfortable with it either.
Walt asked me to say hi, so hi, Walt Harris.
Hey, Walt, Dago here.
Hi, Walt.
That's JC there. You guys got to get a Walt Harris here t-shirt. You got to get it. This man said this for 2 years. Walt Harris here. T-shirts are awesome. Doodle made them. Of course they're awesome. So anyway, this is what's going down today, guys. We spent a lot of time on this, but it is an important scenario. So,
it's an emergent scenario.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going to happen today, guys. I don't know if the governor's going to come in and say, okay, let's wait, or maybe Marcellus Williams is going to leave the world today. We don't know. Anytime anybody loses their life, criminal or not, it's a sad thing. I'll say that much, okay? But if it does give justice to the families of the victims, I get it, okay? I do. I just want them to be 100% right and 100% sure about what they're doing. That's all. You're fine, Walt. Jesus Christ.
You're fine. At 6 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I mean, I can drive down there and video the prison, and because you'll see, like, when they do this, they'll have the roads blocked off at the prison. You'll see several officers outside. You'll see there may even be a protest. This is pretty big, so there may be a protest.
I guarantee. It's up to you if you want to, but if you do, I'll definitely go live with it, hon. I will.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's not too far from me, so
100%.
just so everyone can actually see the process and how things work. You know,
yeah,
it's good to see.
We're not going to see him lose his life.
No, just the prison and the outside.
Right. That'd be awesome, Doodle. I appreciate that, hon. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My dad's cousin committed a heinous crime murder, and they let him out because he had cancer. If anybody deserves the death penalty, it would have been the group of people that killed that young girl. Good point. Good point. Hi, Walt, Mark, and Betty here. You see what you started, Walt? Everybody does it now. I think SRB did the other. Hey, Walt, SRB here. Demon Dog, I would like to speak in Walt terms. Walt has his own language, you guys. For those of you that aren't familiar with Walt, Walt started off as a horrible troll. He was mean to me. I'm just kidding. He was never mean to me. He just trolled the hell out of me. And he's become my own personal troll. And he's a very big part of this team now. And he does a very good job. And we're very proud of Walt. So thank you, Walt, for doing everything you do. You don't have to dig down deeper. You're doing fine. We're just harassing you because you like to harass us. That's all. Just saying. So this, again, for those of you that just jumped in here, this is something new we're trying. It's called Coffee and Current Events with Dago in the morning. Truly, I would have gone through multiple different scenarios that are going on today, but this was a pretty important scenario. So that's why we focused on this. Murky Piglet brought this in, and that is why it came out. Because if this is going to happen, if it's a true scenario, it bugs me. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. Well, let's move on to a couple other things real quick here that are current events. As well as that. But all I can say, guys, is the pray that what happens today, if it happens today, it's just and it needs to be what the answer is. That's all I'm saying. And if it doesn't, and then that'll say to me that it didn't need to happen, I should say, hopefully. Arctic says it pisses me off that we have cases like this where an innocent man may be put to death. But Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who orchestrated her mom's death after previous attempts on it, is walking free. This is true. This is true. Guys, our judicial
and the
system.
boyfriend and the two different. The thing that bothers me about that is that they got two different outcomes.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And she is pretty much just as guilty. She knew what she was doing.
Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, not sure how she got what she got, but she took advantage of that kid, I think.
Yep, I do agree. So let's see, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, now she's scamming for baby items. Oh, I absolutely agree. I am not a fan of her at all. I have never been. I don't think she should have gotten out of prison yet because I don't think she's ready. I think she needed to grow up a lot more, and she needed a lot more therapy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're absolutely welcome, Walt. I appreciate you, brother. I do.
Oh, with her, I have so many mixed feelings with her. You cannot take your mother's life and think that you are such a good person now. No, she's not a celebrity in my eyes. She's a criminal.
Yes, ma'am.
She was treated poorly, but at the same time, there are plenty of children that have been treated poorly that doesn't off their parent. I mean, she deserves to be in prison and stay her little rear end there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I agree. Or she needed in-depth therapy. I think she needed to be put into a mental health facility rather than at least in the first half of her sentence to deal with that rather than prison. And then she could serve her time for what she did. I agree with that because her head was messed up by her mother. I get that. Okay. But let's fix that. And then once that's fixed, let's serve your punishment for what you did and see how you are after the fact. She came out of prison acting stupid again. I'm sorry, but she did. And that's an opinion I have. A lot of people may not agree with me, but she came out of prison acting stupid. She married this guy, comes out of prison, and they're split up already. And then she's with another guy. Now she's pregnant. What the hell's going on with this woman?
She's with the original guy. She's pregnant with the original guy.
What original guy?
Her original boyfriend.
Is she really? Is that who that is? Because I don't follow. I know the bits
not Nick, not Nick Dago, not
Nick.
her partner in crime.
No. I knew it
not
was
the partner in crime, but
the other guy, right?
Yeah, Ben Urker or whatever his name is.
It's strange, guys. This is so weird. It's so strange, and nobody's looking at this. Well, I know you guys are. People out here like us, we're looking at it, going, "What the hell are you doing? And what the hell's going on?" Yeah, that's it, Bling. She's acting like she is a teenager. She never ever did act like a grown adult. Okay. And that's what I was saying right there.
I do think she was robbed of her childhood. I do think she was treated awful, like worse than most, worse than 99% of people.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that you need to, as Doodle says, off your parent.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I will just say this. I do think she's gorgeous. On the outside.
I have to disagree, Jason.
On the outside.
I don't think she's pretty.
I don't either. I'm sorry. Nothing against what you're saying. I respect what you're saying,
yeah.
JC. I just have never thought she was attractive at all. But that's my opinion. What's up, Arctic? Welcome back.
For the
inside, I don't know. Her inside makes her. Here's
my deal, and I have an unpopular take on the Gypsy Rose case because at first I did believe she was a victim. I thought she was a victim of atrocious crimes, but here's the deal: her mom, Dee Dee, was never ever diagnosed with
bipolar.
Oh, with the disorder.
Munchausen by proxy.
Munchausen by proxy. She was never diagnosed with that. And Munchausen is a disease where you do this shit to a child or to yourself to get attention, but not for financial gain. they were doing it for financial gain. And Gypsy knew all along that she could walk. There were several people, even before the murders took place, that saw her walking. She had gone and tried to hook up with a guy from Arkansas at one point there in Missouri. And that got put, her mom stopped that shit real quick. She had reached out to other people to try to get them to kill her mom prior to Nicholas doing it for her. I think she knew full well what was going on and that she was a part of the fraud. She liked those trips to Disneyland. She liked all that attention.
I agree.
I
agree.
I agree too.
She was living her best life, even though it was her worst time. She was living her best life.
I do have to say that that's true. And I do have to say that she was 24 years old. Okay. And SRB's right. She was 24 years old at any given time, regardless of the mental abuse or not. She could have walked out that front door. Okay. Never looked back.
Right. She was an adult.
Did not have to kill her mother, period. That didn't have to happen.
And people made a big deal about the medicine cabinet full of drugs. Well, now we know that Dee Dee was actually dying of cancer. She didn't have that much longer to live herself.
Right.
I think what it really boiled down to, in my opinion, is she got tired. She was having to be a caregiver to her mother, and she got tired of taking care of Dee Dee, and that's what the real reason for the murder was, in my opinion.
I do agree. That's a good point, Arctic. It's a really good point.
Yes, and as far as the medication, have you ever seen like an elderly person's closet when they're on state healthcare, like any kind of Medicaid, Medicare? Because those doctors load them with so much medication.
Yeah.
You have enough to fill a closet. So I'm not surprised with all the meds.
It's a mini pharmacy.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I think
yeah. When my dad was alive, the DEA would have had a field day with his bookshelf full of meds that he had. I mean, he was on several different medications. At last count, I think he was on 45 different medications when he passed away.
I mean, they give him pill boxes for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to just put one pill in each little thing.
She had that cupboard was full top to bottom too, you guys. It was insane. I remember when they first opened, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like you could sell that as your own pharmacy. Yeah, you're lucky that you don't, Cap. But what I'm saying, Alicia's making a really huge point here. If you think about this, Alicia says, don't try to tell me that she didn't love all the special attention she got. She's proving it now with all the attention she tries to get now. From the moment she stepped out of prison, before she stepped out of prison, it was look at me, look at me, look at me. Guys, here we are again. And I got to say what Arctic said about the pregnancy. Is it real? Or is it because the attention died down and Gypsy wants people to pay attention to her again? Because that's all she knows. That's what she loves.
Well, and what I don't understand is I thought there were laws in place to keep criminals from profiting off of their crimes, but yet here she is with several movie deals, a book deal, and everything else profiting off of the fact that she killed her mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and she's already broke her parole a few times too.
Yes. And how long? She's only been out of prison for what? 6 months, a year? I think
roughly.
About a year. Yeah.
Won't it be a year in December because she got out like the day before Christmas or something?
Yeah. Right.
I know a lady that was in prison with her, and she said that she's like day and night. Like in prison, she was one way, but to watch her now is unreal.
You could tell that from watching the interviews with her in prison, and you could see little flicks of the other her come out in some of her interviews. I'm telling you, she is a manipulator. Yeah. I've never agreed with how everything went down. When I first, like Arctic said, in the very beginning, I thought, oh my God, this poor girl, she's a victim. That was because I watched that movie. Okay. And I'm looking back like this really happened. So then I look into the real case and I'm looking at this going, she was this old and this happened and that happened. And you watch how she reacts to things. She's an attention hog, folks. And then when she gets out, it proved it all to me. The moment she got out of prison, I was like, oh my God, this girl has not changed at all. If anything, it made her worse. Yeah, that thing that was disgusting. I'm right there with you, Bling. It made me want to vomit. That thing with Kim Kardashian. Jesus Christ, that was a mess. It was a complete mess.
But Arctic is right though, because she was taught to manipulate.
Yes,
So she
that's what I
enjoys
mean.
this. She knows she's a
She
pro at
learned
this.
from the best.
Yeah, as a child on. I mean, she was taught how to manipulate. So yeah, I mean, she's
Yes, ma'am. And in my opinion, she's no better, if not worse, than Dee Dee was. That's just an opinion I have. Just saying. They need to look into her. They need to look into the things she's doing, and she needs to be held accountable because she's taken advantage of multiple situations, multiple people, financially, mentally, emotionally. That Nick, I'm sorry to say this, I know what he did was wrong, but I feel for him. I absolutely feel bad for that kid. He was slower mentally, in my opinion, and I'm telling you, she completely manipulated him. And what did she do after it was over with? She walked away from him. She knew what she was doing. She knew absolutely what she was doing. And now he sits there with nothing. Okay? He didn't need to have that life. She completely manipulated that entire situation. It wasn't because of her. Or it wasn't because of Dee Dee. It was because of what she wanted, in my opinion. And so I have nothing but disdain for her. I'm sorry. I don't see anything she did as being right. Period. So.
But then again, if he did it, he's got to be accountable.
Of course. No, I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. But let me ask you guys this.
But
Doodle,
it's not a fair, it's not a fair conviction.
No, because
she handed him the knife. She handed him the knife at the door. She's just as guilty as him. She should have never opened that door and handed him a knife. If he sits, she should sit.
That's right. I think they both should have the same. I've always thought that they should both have the same exact punishment for what happened. Because she's the one that set it all up, guys. He
and
did.
Then in her interview, when they asked her about it, she said, well, I did my part. He's doing his part. And
see, that's what got to me, was that interview right there where she's like, but people are trying to make me out to be a murderer. I'm not a murderer. I didn't commit the actual crime. The person that committed the crime is doing the time that he should be doing. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
He'd have never known what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it if it wasn't for you. That's bullshit.
Yeah, she's the one that premeditated the whole thing.
Every bit of it.
And it's in Missouri too, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, Springfield, Missouri. Yes.
Springfield. Another Springfield. Yeah. Yeah, this is pathetic, guys. Watch this real quick. This makes me sick to my stomach.
Is her hair dyed?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's trying to keep up this appearance thing, and God, she makes me nuts. Ugh. Watch this act she's putting on here. This, in my opinion, is a complete and total scripted play that this girl is acting out every day of her life. That's how I feel about her.
So it's a brand new week. So this week I am 22 weeks pregnant, and this is my pregnancy update. So now that I am in my second trimester, I've been experiencing a lot of the things that are associated with pregnancy. So I have started to feel her kick a lot. I have started to feel those movements, and I've started to notice kind of her sleeping pattern. So I have noticed that she kicks a lot at night, anywhere from 9 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock at night. And
okay, so she's pregnant. Yay. Doodle's been pregnant. My wife has been pregnant. My mother's been pregnant. All of our mothers have been pregnant. Everybody's pregnant. Every woman's pregnant that has a child. We all know that. Nobody gives a fuck what she's going through. Excuse my language. I can't stand her. I'm trying to show you guys the act that she puts on.
And does she really talk like that, or is she trying to talk in more of a
she's always done
childish
this
voice?
She's always done this, JC, because it brings the attention to her. Oh, she's so sweet. She's such a sweet person. She's such a good-hearted person. No, she's not. Look at her eyes. I've always looked at this woman's eyes. She's dark, in my opinion. Dark.
It's disgusting that she has spent all this money now that she's famous. I mean, come on. The girl's got some hooters, now she got some knockers, she got new boobies, she got a nose job. Come on. I mean,
how has she gotten all this stuff done?
Is this really what America has come to? I mean, this is sad. Kill your mom. You know, you do this to your mom. Now you're some celebrity. You have all this money. I mean, come on. This is a joke to me. It's terrible.
How has she gotten all this money to get all this stuff?
Because she goes and does this YouTube and her Facebook and her this and that and everything else, and all these people, because they feel so bad for poor Gypsy, have donated
her money.
Yes, it's the what's up, Kimbo? It's the same thing that has gone on her entire life, JC. She learned it from her mom, and she took, I think, in my opinion, she took what Dee Dee showed her and turned it into something way bigger and more. Okay.
Well, now Captain Jennings, now she does have a legit chromosomal issue that also came out, which did affect muscle strength in her eyes, and she'd had to be put on some medications, and that may have been part of the reason why her teeth fell out. So not everything was made up as Gypsy Rose claimed. She did have some legit health issues. So, you know, some of those surgeries were absolutely necessary.
Some of them, yeah, agreed. But here's the thing. Where'd it go? I just saw it in chat.
I just feel for this child that she's going to bring into the world.
I'm afraid for this child. I'm telling you right now, JC, thank you for saying that. I'm scared to death for this child. If it's real, they better watch her like a hawk, because I'm telling you, when she gets bored with it.
Oh yeah,
okay,
I agree. Her dad will be raising this child.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I pray to God that somebody can. I'm afraid that she's going to do something to this child to harm it somehow or another. The first time, if this baby's born with colic or any kind of a problem or anything like that, she's not going to have the patience for that.
Nope.
And she may do something to harm this child. I hate to say that. But the person that she is, okay,
and then blame it on a psychotic break or a postpartum psychosis,
or just the way she was raised. Welcome, Dragonfly. Good to see you today. That's okay, Victoria. You don't have to. That's your opinion. I respect that totally. But knowing who she is as a person, knowing who she was as a person, if you had the ability at one point in time in your life to have the thought in your mind to kill somebody, ever, I don't care what the situation was, you had a plan that you brought together all on your own to take somebody's life. You are not all together upstairs. And I don't care how many years you spent in prison. If anything, that could have made it worse. And here's the other side of this. Since she likes this attention, don't forget, she knows how to get attention from being sick or having somebody be sick. I can almost bet that this child's going to be born, and all of a sudden, guess what? This baby's got this problem, that problem. 100%, you guys. I have no doubt that may happen with this. Okay? I'm just saying. It scares me. It absolutely scares me for her to have a child. That's all I'm saying. And I pray that they're looking at her and watching her and paying attention to anything she can do, because I'm scared to death for that child if it's real. If this is real.
Are there statistics about the Munchausen, and is that like genetic where the daughter could get it too, or?
I don't know. My ex-wife had it, undiagnosed, of course, but I knew what it was because of what she did to my kids. None of my other kids seem to have it, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Okay, I've never seen or heard anything about that. That's a good point, though.
I question if my sister has it.
Well, I know that my ex had it because my kids, and plus she was lazy, I think, because they were given Tylenol and Benadryl like religiously just so they would sleep. That's why I ended up with custody of my kids. It was insane. And you don't do that. You don't feed that to kids for no reason.
Right. And Victoria's right. Not all, will grow up to be just like their abuser. Absolutely not, Victoria. You are completely different.
Very true. Very true. That's why I said I respected her feelings on it. Welcome back, Chopper. Good to see you.
The point is that Gypsy's already showing signs of being just like Dee Dee with her behavior since getting out of prison. That's where the concern lies.
That's what my point was, and that's why I wanted you guys to watch. As hard as this is, because it's hard on me to watch this, but watch the show that she's putting on. Because I promise you, when that camera turns off, she's not acting like this. I promise you, she's not.
She's calmer during the daytime. I have noticed that she's more active whenever I eat sweets. So I ate a Kit Kat bar and she was up for like 2 hours, kicking me like every 5 seconds. So I'm getting used to that. So far, I mean, that part of it has been very magical. There are some times I'm kind of like, okay, stop moving. But then whenever she stops moving and she's like asleep, that's when I start to miss her moving, actually. So that's definitely been an exciting part of pregnancy. So I'll get into some of the symptoms, like the new symptoms that I've been experiencing. Some of them is actually quite unexpected. So I have noticed that about 2 weeks ago, my thighs have started to kind of like fall asleep. It feels like my thighs are asleep. So it happens when I'm standing for a long period of time, or I'm just like, I'm laying on one side, like I'm sleeping on one side for too long. I have noticed that my thighs start to get a little tingly and numb, and even a burning sensation sometimes.
Now, Arctic, question, because you brought up the fact that she has the chromosomal issue and a couple other medical problems that are real. Wouldn't it be recommended? I don't know about that thing. You know, I have medical background and I know quite a bit, but some of these things I don't know. Wouldn't it be something that you would be told, maybe in some senses, to not bear a child with certain medical issues that you would have? Because it could cause you.
At bare minimum, they nowadays they can do testing to see if the child's going to be affected by it or not, to see if it has the disorder. And I know it's going to be a touchy subject, but a lot of doctors will recommend that if the child is going to have that type of issue, that you terminate the pregnancy. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, because I mean, Gypsy Rose, for all of her faults, she is a somewhat healthy adult. So just because you've got a chromosomal disorder, I'm not saying go terminate the pregnancy, but you should at least have the test done. That way, hey, I'm going to have a child. He's going to have this. I need to study up on what their difficulties are going to be, and go from there.
Right. That's true. Let me see here. GD, welcome again. Let's see here. I have 5 kids, all between 8 to 10 pounds. I didn't feel anything till almost third trimester. See, because I worked unlike this criminal, right?
Well, and that's the other thing, GD, is as far along as she is, the symptoms that she's describing with the baby kicking that fiercely, she would not be having those. That's why I think the pregnancy is bullshit. I think she went on WebMD, pulled up a bunch of symptoms of people being pregnant, and that's what she's reading off to her viewers.
Thank you. I mean, she very well could be pregnant. Don't get any of us wrong, guys. But with her history, with who we know that she is, I have a huge doubt.
Well,
I have a huge doubt.
If she is pregnant and she's 22 weeks, in about 18 weeks, if there's no baby produced.
Well, here's the thing. Watch, guys, because here, let me give you a scenario that I'm expecting. This isn't a scenario I'm expecting here. So 22 weeks, do quick math for me, somebody. How many months is that? That is 4, 8, 12.
It's like a little over 5 months.
5 months. Now, I don't know if here shortly there's all of a sudden a miscarriage or she loses the baby, oh my God, the outpouring of attention she's going to receive. Imagine.
Well, and the other thing is, Dago, if you look throughout her, if you go on her TikTok and you look through her TikTok videos that she's got, one day the baby bump is huge. The next day you can barely tell she's pregnant. That's why something bothers me about this pregnancy.
I've been told that by others too, talking about this. I got a couple of emails talking about how I should bring that to people's attention, because in one picture somebody said that it looked like she was like 6 months pregnant. In the other picture it looked like she was 2 months pregnant because you couldn't see anything. And I'm like, maybe the pillow she used that day was different. I don't know. I mean, it's very possible, guys. It's people like this need the attention. She needs this attention. She can't survive without it, obviously, or she wouldn't be doing this. Now, here's my thing. If I went through what she went through wholeheartedly, horrendous, yes. Okay, I'm good. I don't think, especially after what she did, that I would want to be the center of attention and be in the public eye.
No.
She can't survive without it, you guys. We've seen that. She cannot survive without this attention. I'm telling you. So that, imagine that whole thought process of somebody like this. I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to get all that attention, and then I'm going to lose the baby, and everybody will feel so bad for me because of what I've already been through. And now I lost a baby too. Oh my God. This is what she lives for, you guys. This is why I'm doubting this. Not to mention what Arctic just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't make sense. She should have never been allowed to carry a child.
Really needs to go to like a
maternity home. Yes. If she's really pregnant, she should be in a maternity home right now with somebody watching her, showing her the right nutritious ways to live. We know that this girl had issues with candy and sugar and all that bullshit in the past.
And she's eating Kit Kat bars when she's pregnant.
Thank you. Especially when you already have medical problems. You need to be like at your utmost best health while you're pregnant with this child. If you expect it to work and to be healthy and all that other stuff. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this at all. At all.
About what the nursery will be, and we're really excited to start putting that together really soon. So about 2 weeks ago, we had our 20-week anatomy scan. So it's not necessarily always done at 20 weeks. It could be done anywhere from 18 to 24 weeks. They just call it the 20-week anatomy scan or just anatomy scan. So when we had our anatomy scan, I was very nervous. I had researched a lot on TikTok about anatomy scans and what they're like and what they mean. So what the anatomy scan does is look at every part of her body to make sure that everything is developing normally. So they looked at her brain, they looked at her bones, they looked at her stomach, her liver, her heart, particularly her heart. And it was an ultrasound, and it was wonderful to see like how she's developing. And in real time, because I feel her all the time, and so I know her legs are pretty strong. But to actually like see her little feet, her little fingers, like everything just start to come together. I can remember back when.
Can you see all of that at this point on a sonogram, guys? I don't remember.
You can now.
Can you now? Okay, I couldn't.
They have 4D imaging.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Still, that's okay. I got you. Thank you. It's been years. I'm an old person now, so.
Yeah. I was, 8 weeks pregnant, and she looked like a little chicken. And now she's a baby. Like she looks like a baby now. And so anyway, I had seen a lot of things on TikTok about what the anatomy scan is for. And so anatomy scans are to determine if there are any abnormalities whatsoever. If there was.
Well, sorry, I'm muted. She said when she was 8 weeks pregnant, she looked like a little chicken. Now she looks like a baby. So 2 months in, she looked like a chicken, and now she looks like a baby. At this point, is what she's saying. So, if that's what you missed, I mean,
Yeah.
she's full of shit. She says, "Yeah, well, listen, guys. I mean, this could be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sticking up for her. This could be 100% what it is. It could be a real pregnancy. She could turn out to be the best mom in the world. Have healthy baby. She'll stay healthy. There'll be no problems. That could happen. I just have a lot of doubts about it, is all I'm telling you guys, because I don't like her. I don't like what she's done. I don't think that I think she got away with a lot of stuff that she should have never gotten away with. Okay. She took somebody's life. She premeditated a horrific plan to kill her own mother, regardless of the whatever sickness Dee Dee had. That's not the answer. At 24 years old, she could have walked away from the situation and never looked back. And she would have never killed somebody, because as far as I don't care if she had her hand on the knife or not. I don't care if she had her hand on the trigger. I don't care if she was the one that did this with her hands. You did it in your mind. You made this person do this because I don't want to say made. You manipulated somebody into doing this for you. He wouldn't have done this. He didn't know what the hell. I don't think he still knows the seriousness of what he did, because the guy's different, okay, mentally, in my opinion. And hey, Kel, I just don't agree with her and what she's doing. I'm just saying it's all wrong to me. Let's see. Let me get through this more. I can't hear her voice, you guys. I want to claw my face off listening to her voice.
Just mute her.
It's hard. It's hard to hear. Hold on.
I'm like, should I be like, oh, you're pregnant already? But I also learned that a lot of women, like with their first pregnancy, they won't start showing till like later on in their pregnancy. Healthy pregnancy, everything's going good on that front. Symptoms are manageable. Overall, I think that I have a very good pregnancy. I like to say that I'm blessed that things are going so well. So it was a relief to know that she's developing normally. It's a relief to know that I'm healthy as the mother. And overall, like, it's just
maybe physically, but definitely not mentally.
Thank y'all so much for watching my pregnancy update, and stay tuned for more.
Do you miss your mom, Dee Dee?
Yeah, I miss my mom.
No, you don't. Anyway. Oh, God. I can't, guys. I can't. I don't.
Yeah, she's fishy.
Oh, fishy's not
very fishy.
Very,
very fishy.
Yeah. So anyway. Okay, stop. No voice. No voice. Now, another current event I wanted to hit you guys with that was really interesting. Not interesting, but kind of scary. I know you guys heard about this because I got sent an email about it a while back. Hold on a minute here. I'm really curious, Doodle. Well, all three of you guys, what your opinions and feelings are on this situation.
The judge.
Yes, yeah. So,
holy Lord.
In Kentucky,
Kentucky's
definitely been on the map lately, a lot. Okay. In Kentucky, a sheriff's deputy walked into a judge's
chambers.
Chambers, thank you, and shot him. Like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? So there's that scenario too. Real quick, Murky said, off topic, news about Williams' extensive criminal record didn't help him win favor with jury. Oh, yeah, we looked at that after you bonked out of here a little bit. I know you had to run somewhere, Murky, but yeah, we finally saw that. He was serving a 50-year sentence for an unrelated robbery. Oh, okay. So he's got the background the criminal background that is kind of making it. I see what you're saying. Good point.
A little bit come to light more.
And that kind of brings back to what you asked, Doodle, when you first popped on. Remember about his background and stuff like that.
Criminal history. Yeah.
So it kind of makes. Yeah, I agree. It definitely makes it interesting. So here we are with this situation, though, guys. This is another one that really floored me. I hadn't got a chance to talk about it because things have been chaotic, but Williams' ex-cellmate and girlfriend were both gunning for the $10,000 reward offered by Gail's family, made them willing to make up lies if it will benefit them. Neither received the payout. Well, that's good. Good to know, Murky. Thank you for having the information on this. Like I said, I didn't ever know.
This guy that killed this judge was a police officer?
He was a deputy. He was a
Oh.
sheriff. Yes.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, this is pretty wild, you guys. Pretty wild.
It's rumored that the sheriff's daughter, the judge was a bit too friendly with the sheriff's daughter, and it's sad to me that the sheriff thought there was no way out. I mean, what do you do in a situation like that? This is a judge. I mean,
he was the sheriff, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. What do? You can't. What are you going to do if you go to file charges or you go to do that? Well, he's the judge. He's the top-ranking dog.
Official.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, small town, blah, blah, blah. Rumor is his wife, too. Jesus, really? So, the dude probably was at his wit's end. Just saying. I'm not standing up for him. I'm just saying, let's learn about it a little bit. But, yeah, there's some details I've heard about this. And it's, wow. You know what I mean? Great to see you, Kel. Thank you for joining us. They had lunch earlier that day. I don't know about that one, Toby, but that's interesting. Tomboy, welcome. He says he was a popular sheriff, as was the judge. A priest said that rumor was untrue. Okay. Well, I hope it's not, because that would really make it hard for this guy. But this is crazy. It's crazy for sure. Let's see what we got to hear here. And then there's another one.
Developing story out of eastern Kentucky. A Letcher County district judge is dead after authorities say the county sheriff shot and killed him in the judge's chambers yesterday afternoon. Today, Sheriff Sean Steins is in jail while police try to pinpoint a motive. And we're hearing from the Commonwealth's attorney in that area who knew Judge Kevin Mullins well. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton are talking to attorneys and former judges here in Louisville who are troubled by this deadly shooting.
A disturbing display of violence playing out inside an eastern Kentucky courthouse. Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins shot and killed in his own chambers. And authorities believe it was the sheriff, Sean Steins, who pulled the trigger and shot him multiple times. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's latest comments.
Now, I know there's a whole lot that's out there on the internet and elsewhere. This is an active, ongoing investigation.
The rural community of just over 20,000 people rattled as investigators try to confirm a motive.
We could use everybody's prayers, send prayers for the family that they get through this difficult time.
Matt Butler, the state prosecutor for the area, on Facebook sharing his personal connection to the judge.
His daughters are my nieces, and that my two oldest kids are his niece and nephew.
The tragic news came as a shock to so many across the state, including attorneys and former judges right here in Louisville who were quick to denounce any kind of violence inside the courthouse. I sat down with retired district court judge Janice Martin.
It affects us all when you see violence like this, because you don't anticipate someone getting shot outside a courthouse, somebody as a judge getting shot in their chambers, much less by a law enforcement officer. So it's very disturbing.
And former prosecutor, attorney Carl Price.
I was shocked. Had to take a deep breath because, of course, we work in the court system. But generally, the deputies who carry the firearms in the courtroom, first and foremost, are like family to the judges, right? So you feel safe in that regard.
There are questions surrounding a federal lawsuit against Sheriff Steins, accused of turning a blind eye to one of his deputies sexually abusing a woman in that same judge's chambers.
It would be a locked area, and only the judge and his staff would have access to that.
Attorney Kent Wicker of Louisville telling me he'll be watching closely to see what investigators conclude to be the motive.
The motive suggests this is really a one-off, Or does the motive suggest that there's a systematic problem that needs to be corrected by different policy measures? So that's what I'd want to know.
Mullins died at the scene and Stein surrendered to authorities. A KSP spokesperson saying the sheriff is charged with first-degree murder. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11, on your side.
Okay, thanks for joining us, JC. Thanks for being up here. I appreciate you. So there's that situation. I think that's it.
Today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear was asked about this shooting. Take a look at what he said.
Now, I know there's a whole lot that's out there on the internet and elsewhere. This is an active, ongoing investigation. As a former prosecutor and a former AG, I'm not going to comment on any pieces of it to make sure that the state police can continue that investigation. They will follow the evidence when they have it. They will comment on motive, and then it will be prosecuted by the Commonwealth Attorney, Jackie Steele.
The Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman says his office will collaborate with a Commonwealth's attorney in the region as special prosecutors in a criminal case.
Mickey and Kevin were really close and good friends. I never saw.
So before we get into this second part of this, guys, Arctic Doodle, what do you guys think of this scenario so far?
Wow. I mean, I wonder why. That's my main thing. Like, why? What happened?
Well, that's
what he had to turn to.
That's yes, ma'am. And we're about to hear how they were pretty close. So go ahead, Arctic.
I mean, really, what could have been done to prevent it? Because officers are allowed to have their guns in court all the time. So, I mean, and I'm sure no one was expecting an officer to open fire on a judge. I mean, it's sad, it's tragic, but I don't think there's much that could have been done to prevent it from happening.
This is not just a deputy, guys. This is the sheriff of the county. So, I mean, he was the one in charge of all this. So yeah, Arctic's right. Like, what could you maybe knowing what the issue is that caused it is a big thing. And if it was, I don't think that it was that the deputy. I would like to think that it wasn't that the deputy had some kind of a mental break or something, but maybe, you know what I mean?
I would like to know if he had previous signs of aggression before in his record.
That's where I was going with that. That's a good point because we don't know that yet. It's crazy. It really is. This is like when I first heard this, I was like, holy shit, what? You know, when you have the sheriff of the county walking in and blowing the judge of the county away, and it is a small town, I get it, but good God, that's some scary shit right there. You know what I mean? So now, if this involves his children, okay, or his wife. Now, listen, guys, we've heard of crimes of passion. I, with my first wife, went through a scenario where I walked in on her and somebody else, and I could have done something very bad. I did spend a little jail time over the weekend because of what I did do, but it could have been worse. Okay, people don't know how they're going to react in a situation like this until they're in a situation like this, and hopefully they can hold themselves. We don't know if this is what happened here. I'm just saying you don't know how you're going to react to something until something happens. And if it's something that you feel very strongly about, or somebody messes with your family, just saying, you don't know. We don't know. So this second part here,
that's the one thing that where I can have a little compassion is if that judge had somehow fucked with the officer's family.
Yes,
I can have a little compassion for the guy if it was something like that.
That's because, again, this first off, this is the sheriff of the county, guys. He's in charge of everything in this county. The sheriff himself. That's a lot to take in. You know, Doodle being an officer, okay, not the sheriff, not the chief, but an officer, has explained the stress related to being in law enforcement. We know that already. This guy was the head of law enforcement in this area. So take that into account on top of whatever this could have been. Go ahead, Doodle. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I really hope that this it's bad to say, but I hope it does involve something personal and not just a mental break.
That's
because
it.
If this is a mental break, then this goes back to every case he's had in the past year.
They're going to have to go back
I
and
mean,
probably
this
look at
is
it all.
yeah, this is going to come back. I mean, this is bad if this is a mental break, because this everything that he has had any control over for a year will all be questioned now.
And it'll bring to surface, was there any brutality? Was there any overuse of power, force, any of that stuff? You got to wonder, you know what I mean? And if there isn't any, and there's never been an issue with this man being violent, flipping out on people, any of that kind of stuff, then it's got to go to a personal level, in my opinion. That's just saying. What do we guys have? We having a pizza seminar over here? You guys, I will say that Aldi's pizza is very good for being Aldi's pizza. It is not bad for frozen pizza. So moving forward.
Any hostilities between them.
Residents in Letcher County are struggling.
Really close and good friends. I never saw any hostilities between them.
Residents in Letcher County are struggling to cope with a shooting involving two of its most prominent citizens. District Judge Kevin Mullins is dead after authorities say the county sheriff shot and killed him in the judge's chambers on Thursday. Many residents have told WHAS 11 they have nothing but praise for them both. Residents also said the two worked closely to help people who struggled with substance abuse to get the treatment they need and were leaders in addressing the opioid crisis.
These were two great pillars of the community that we have now, in a sense, lost. This is just one of those things you're just waiting to wake up from the nightmare, but because you never dreamed that anything like this is ever going to happen in your small town, especially Whitesburg. And here we are, and you just don't know where to turn from one moment to the next.
According to the Letcher County Circuit Court clerk, Judge Mullins and County Sheriff Sean Steins were together shortly before noon on Thursday. The clerk said the two seemed to be having an ordinary interaction and were planning to get lunch together. WHAS 11's Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton spoke with attorneys and former judges here in Louisville who are also still processing this news.
Well, it didn't take long for attorneys and former judges here in Louisville to hear about this news, disturbed by the fact that this kind of violence could happen in the courthouse, a place they say they almost always feel safe.
Not only affects judges, it affects the court system as a whole.
Retired District Court Judge Janice Martin, like so many who've worked in the judicial system across Kentucky, is deeply troubled by the violence that played out in that Eastern Kentucky courthouse.
I'm very saddened and horrified about the event because I'm sure that's a very traumatic event for all of those people that were involved.
Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins shot and killed in his own chambers, and authorities believe it was the sheriff, Sean Steins, who pulled the trigger and shot him multiple times. Investigators are trying to confirm a motive. Matt Butler, the state prosecutor for the area, on Facebook sharing his personal connection to the judge.
His daughters are my nieces, and that my two oldest kids are his niece and nephew.
There are questions surrounding a federal lawsuit against Sheriff Steins, accused of turning a blind eye to one of his deputies sexually abusing a woman in that same judge's chambers.
It would be a locked area, and only the judge and his staff would have access to that.
Mullins died at the scene and Steins surrendered to authorities. A KSP spokesperson says the sheriff is charged with first-degree murder. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11, on your side.
Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman says his office will work with a Commonwealth's attorney in London, Kentucky, as the special prosecutor in this case.
Whitesburg.
Okay, so there's that statement. Murky says, in my opinion, stress a civil suit, possibly ending his career, was the trigger. He probably thinks the judge knew of the happenings in his chamber. Did he? That's a good point. Well, we just heard that part of it. That definitely could be a career-ending situation, in my opinion. If you know of somebody else that has been causing that harm to somebody and you turned your head, of course it's going to end your career. And if it's going to end your career and this judge had part was taking part in this because he's the only judge probably in the area. That could be a trigger, but if it's true, you made the mistake to turn your head when somebody did something so horrific to somebody else. If it's true, we don't know that yet. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's you did it to yourself, so you can't. I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say. I don't know, like.
This takes us all the way back to what I was saying earlier about family and small towns, because this guy, that was his niece's father, and that's just every small town. That's exactly what we deal with in every small town.
Agreed. I went through it here. In the town we live in. I told you guys about the judge that would be in the local bar as soon as he got out of court every day and was sitting by people drinks, and when they get a DUI the next day, he was the judge that oversaw it. I mean, small towns have circumstances that are not. It's hard to get away from. Okay. Wait.
Yep.
They said
our police chief wrote our mayor a ticket for DWI, and in turn, the mayor fired the police chief. That's just how small towns work.
Absolutely. It just yeah. And we had, for instance, one of our board members here was a raging alcoholic. Right? Tessa Splitzer, I think her name was. And we are run by a board that makes decisions along with the mayor and the city manager. It's been out an ongoing issue for years. Okay. Money comes up missing, blah, blah, blah. They take money from one fund to another fund, and then it's not in that fund, and people are driving new cars type shit. Okay. So then if this woman, I'll give you a quick example, got divorced from her husband 10 years before she became a board member. Got a DUI. It was all on video. We watched it. She spit in the cop's face. And she got away with it. She got away with everything and sat on that board for 6 more months. A year. It was a year. A year before that, before she was elected as an official on the board, before she tried to burn her ex-husband's house to the ground. It was videoed. And left the gas can sitting there. She got away with that too because of who she was. Then was elected to the board. This is what we never understood. And then the DUI thing happened after that when she spat in the officer's face and stomped on his foot and called him a fat little piggy on video, body cams we saw. Again, it's crazy. So it happens everywhere. I'm just telling you, small towns are small towns are small towns are small towns. So this is insane, though. And I got to wonder, Alicia says, wait, I thought they said the judge turned a blind eye to another deputy doing that in his chambers. Did I hear it wrong? Was that how it was said, or was it the sheriff turned a blind eye to one of his deputies doing that in the judge's chambers? Which way did that go, you guys? Does anybody remember? No, the shooter is being sued for possibly knowing that one. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Murky. You've been like a hell of a help today. So there's that situation going on in Kentucky, you guys. Let me see. I don't see anything new on the Kentucky shooting at this point. Okay, so this is what they're doing. This was from 3 days ago. This shooting happened a while back, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm just now getting to it. But like I said, I bet it is, Piglet. You got a lot of info, I'll tell you that much.
Small town crime reaches national headlines. We're digging into the details, learning more about Mullins and Stein's background.
Megan Mannering joins us now in studio with what we've learned so far. Please tell us.
Hey guys, well, based on their backgrounds, I can tell you that these two men would have crossed paths
been in the same room many times over the years. Let's start with the shooting victim, Judge Kevin Mullins. The 54-year-old was an assistant Commonwealth's attorney for 8 years before former Governor Steve Beshear appointed him district judge in 2009. As a district judge for Letcher County, he handled juvenile cases, misdemeanors, traffic offenses, and small claims, arraignments, and cases involving domestic violence. And for some time, Mullins' suspected shooter, Sheriff Mickey Steins, served as the bailiff in his courtroom. After his time as a bailiff, Mickey Steins was elected sheriff. That was in 2018, and he was reelected in 2022. And I'll tell you, the controversies in Sheriff Steins' department began long before yesterday's shooting. Sheriff Steins was listed as a defendant in a lawsuit regarding one of his deputies, an inmate, and sexual favors. In 2022, former Deputy Sheriff Ben Fields pleaded guilty to raping a woman on house arrest that he was assigned to monitor. The victim claims that when she couldn't pay for her ankle bracelet, Deputy Fields proposed an arrangement. The plaintiff alleged Deputy Fields took off her ankle monitor, and in meetups that followed, he forcibly had sex with her at the Letcher County Courthouse, using threats of arrest to coerce her into sex. The plaintiff in this case also sued Sheriff Mickey Steins, alleging negligent hiring, training, and supervision of Deputy Fields. Now, we confirmed with the attorney Bethany Baxter today that Sheriff Steins was deposed on Monday. After spending 4 to 5 hours with him, she told me that she is just as shocked as everyone else by the shooting, and she's unsure if the crime has anything to do with their case.
We are hearing from a man who was inside an Eastern Kentucky courthouse when gunshots rang out this week. State police are still working to determine the motive. The incident happened in Whitesburg, approximately 40 minutes east of Hazard and about 2.5 hours from Lexington near the Virginia border. Kentucky State Police received a call just before 3 yesterday of gunfire at the courthouse. Multiple agencies responded and found District Judge Kevin Mullins with multiple gunshot wounds. He died at the scene. Sheriff Mickey Sean Steins was arrested minutes later and charged with first-degree murder. Tonight, WKYT's Grayson Passmore talked to the county circuit clerk, who was not only a colleague to both men, but a close friend. It's our top story at 11.
36 needs to be wrapped to Letcher County Courthouse. That shots fired on the second floor.
It's a tragedy that's rocking the small Letcher County community.
We've not only lost our sheriff and our district judge, but I've lost 2 personal friends that I worked with daily.
Kentucky State Police say 43-year-old Sheriff Mickey Steins shot and killed 54-year-old District Judge Kevin Mullins inside the courthouse Thursday afternoon. Circuit Court Clerk Mike Watts says he's struggling to understand what happened, as he saw both men eat lunch together just a few hours earlier.
It's just unimaginable. I don't know what happened or what the reason was. I know the Kentucky State Police are investigating it, and I feel confident.
So, was there a conversation had during lunch? I mean, that could have made sense. And maybe it did have something to do with this, that the judge said, hey, I'm not going to be able to do anything for you in this situation. This is a bad situation. You're going to probably lose your job, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And maybe he snaps. I don't know, you guys. This is just a speculative theory based on what we're hearing from this. But
honestly, if I was looking into this right now, one of the first things I'd do is pull the phone records from both the judge and the sheriff to see, what was being talked about and stuff prior to this happening. Because Brutally Honest had said that there's a rumor that the judge may have been diddling the sheriff's 17-year-old daughter, and that may be what led to it. So if that's the case, that would certainly be enough to prompt a man to take action.
That makes sense. That makes this make sense if that's true. Very, very true. Yeah. And that's just creepy too. I mean, are they going to put it on? This is where this is going to get touchy and sticky. Is it going to be a reason like that where the sheriff is almost justified in doing it? Not saying that it's right to take somebody's life in a scenario like that, but I'm telling you right now, if it was my daughter, I can't say that I wouldn't feel the same way as that officer did, and maybe think about doing the same thing he did if it come to one of my daughters. We don't know. Again, Are they going to put it that way when they come to? Is it going to come out like that? Is what I'm saying, or is it going to be something else? This is so strange. They said that they both exchanged phones. That's the rumor I'm hearing. If it's legit, yeah, I've heard it too once.
I have to believe that this is more than that. That we're missing something. I mean, something set this guy in a blind rage, and I don't know if a lawsuit is enough to do something like that. I mean, that's serious. My
Very
God.
true. Well, then again, like I said, if it's true that this judge was messing around with this guy's daughter, that doodle, come on. I mean, you know how protective you are over Preston.
Oh, you bet. I
yeah,
won't lie.
right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And that's the problem. These are rumors as of right now. We don't know, but that would make some sense, because if this guy's been the sheriff for how long? He worked alongside this guy. They had lunch together. They had this. They had that. And then this comes out. Very close people, small town, things happen. You know, we live so close together in these towns. It could be. That does make some sense. And I can't say that at that point, I don't believe in people taking others' lives, but at that point, I don't blame this guy if that's true. I'm just saying.
Well, if this is happening in the judge's chambers, you know he's involved in it.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
yes, ma'am.
I mean, something's not right here. There's a flaw in this law somewhere.
I love that. A flaw in this law. I love it. Would that mean, that's a good point, would that mean a lesser charge for him, do you guys think? Temporary insanity, maybe?
Crime of passion?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. I would think so.
That's a blind fit of rage. Yeah, absolutely.
Which, temporary insanity brought upon by anybody would understand that, I would think. Even prosecution would have to look at it and go, is this true? Then again, the judge is no longer with us. If they bring this guy's daughter in, and if they, look into the rumor and she testifies, yeah, this is what happened. In my opinion, that would almost be case closed, wouldn't it? There it is.
What was the case?
Well, a lot of that's also going to depend on when he found. A lot of that's going to also depend on when he found out about what was going on between the judge and the daughter too. Because if he knew about it for weeks, then this was premeditated, and he can't claim crime of passion.
Yes, I agree. I agreed. What were you saying, Doodle?
What was that case years ago where someone had hurt this guy's child, and he was in an airport and waited for the guy to be walked through, and he took him out right there at the airport, and he got off.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that was a rage killing.
What the hell was the name in that? I do remember that too, and it just was there and then it's gone. I hate when that happens. Damn it, I can't think. Brutally just said, I'm pretty sure that something was happening with the judge in an understudy too. So if this judge was a pervert and was messing around with people and their wives and their kids and a lot of people are going to find this out and go, well, he got what he needed, or he got what he deserved, or some sense. Now, but again, the prosecution still has to do their job. They're going to obviously bring in experts, mental health experts, that are going to say, yeah, this could have put him into a form of rage temporarily because of the situation. And he very well could get off on that, you guys. But if any of that comes out, if they can look into it enough to find out that it wasn't true, we got a whole other story. So I don't know. Let's see. Cap says, if I have an argument, go into another room and pick up a weapon and come back, that's considered first degree? Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. Doodle, is that true? That you know of?
Yep, that's first degree. If you went to another room, grabbed a weapon, went in there, and did what you're doing, yep, first degree.
That's what I thought. Good point, Cap. And that's punishable by death. Am I wrong? Or no, second degree is.
You can get the death penalty on first and second. If it's murder, definitely. Just depends on the circumstances.
Well, this man killed a judge too. That would be a considered capital punishment situation, in my opinion, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it is premeditation too. So therefore, this is insane, you guys. It's crazy. Leon Gary Plausch is the guy who shot his son's abuser. Thank you, brutally. Damn, that was quick. That was the name. I knew it was Leon. I could never say the last name. I think I pronounced it correct, Plausch. But yeah. And again, you guys, those are the crimes that I have to look at and go, I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing. I know it's a crime to take somebody's life. I know it's just not right. But when they're harming your child or your family, anybody I care about, I can't tell you how I'm going to react. I can't. It's crazy. I want to know who the victim of Favors was. Was it Stein's daughter? And he find out the judge knew that could be daughter connection. Yes, very possible, Murky. And being a small town, the daughter could have been working at the courthouse on the weekend or, after school hours, doing this or doing that for helping out with different things and been involved that way. You don't know because small towns do stuff like that. You know what I mean? This case has had me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait for all the end. Yeah, that's 100% true. Once everything does come out, it's going to hit big, I think. I definitely think. Sorry for interrupting this again.
That they will hopefully provide some answers on why, and maybe that'll be able to help us all heal. But the entire county and community is just in shock. Both of them's well liked.
Watts says the two worked closely together as Mullins started a program to help inmates with substance abuse disorders, and Steins helped drive those people to and from appointments.
We were resilient people, the mountain people are, and we've been through a lot of tragedy. And we had a devastating flood in July 2022, and we're rebounding from that, and now this is a tragedy for the whole county.
Watts and other courthouse employees were inside when the shooting happened. He says grief counselors were brought to the staff on Friday.
Me and both bailiffs, when this incident happened, both of them, not knowing who the shooter was or anything, just entered the chambers without hesitation. So we're all struggling. The whole county is just devastated by this.
In Letcher County, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
And Steins is expected in court in Carter County via video arraignment.
Thanks, Cap. I mean, it's just a thought. You never know. Everything is, and it's obvious that the one other thing to look at too. It's obvious that the judge was an absolute target. There wasn't just somebody disgruntled walking in shooting up the place. The judge was the target because nobody else was hit, nobody else was touched, nobody else was, you know what I mean? So, because people, I saw somebody state in another show I was looking at, another stream, about maybe he was just a disgruntled officer, blah 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 blah. There was only one person hit, which I feel was the absolute target. There was nobody else involved, in my opinion. So wild stuff though, guys. Wild stuff. Let's see here, because I'm about to bring this to a close so that I can start up the other show. This went a little over because of Marcellus Williams' scenario today, but I do want to check this out. Because when we do this stuff in the morning, we're going to be covering a bunch of stuff. So we do have, somebody asked earlier about hurricanes. It looks like there's a tropical storm coming into Florida. Mom's down in Florida worrying about mom. So it's called, was it Helene? They're going with the name of this one, possibly.
The Fox 35 Storm Team is continuing. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, my apologies. Tropical Cyclone 9, which can turn into, from my understanding, I'm not a weatherman, but a cyclone can turn into something bigger, from my understanding, or worse. I don't know. Helene or not? Okay. All right. Well, that's what's going on down south there, guys, down in Florida. I hope mom is okay, and anybody for that matter that's in Florida, please stay vigilant. Pay attention to the weather. If you're in a danger zone, get out if you can, please. That's all I'm saying. Be careful, be safe, be vigilant.
I will say, if this thing's named Helene, people better watch out, because my grandmother's name was Helene, and if it's anything like her, I don't want to be anywhere in its path.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's some scary stuff. So, I think that's going to do it. We went a little over where I wanted to go with this, but it's okay. I enjoyed it. It was a really great conversation today. Doodle Bug being up here was amazing. I loved it. Arctic, it's always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Always, always. I'm going to do a poll right now before we do shut this down. Let's see here. And I need everybody, please, to vote on this that's in here because we only have 38 people at this point now, so it's not going to be much. And like I said, I'll have a better, stricter schedule with it if we do. But the poll is, should we continue the morning shows after today? Yes or no? And I really want to know your guys' feelings on it. Doodle, since you're up here in Arctic, what do you two think about doing this like this in the mornings?
I like it. I think it's good. It's a good way to start the day out.
Okay.
I do. I like the format. I think we need to streamline it, though, to maybe a couple of hours if you're going to do an afternoon and an evening show. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's a great format.
No, that's the point was I actually wanted to start it earlier, but I didn't know if I would have started at 9 rather than 10:45. I didn't get the chance to get it together because I was on a med call with the doctor today. That was the problem. But if I were to start it, say at 9 or maybe 10, I'll say that. I could run it till noon or 11. Okay, that's a couple hours. That's max, and we can go through current events. Like I said, the Marcellus thing really took us off to the side because it was a pretty serious issue and a pretty big deal. Otherwise, it would just be me coming in, waking up with everybody with our coffee, talking about current events that have gone on the day before, whatever. That's not necessarily just crime. And waking up to that and getting moving for the day. And then moving on to the afternoon show. And, if I do the evening shows, they're going to be earlier. Okay. And I'm trying to stick to a regular schedule now to get back to that kind of thing, to do the afternoon shows 1 or 2 in the afternoon and the evening shows at 7 or 8 p.m. and blah, blah, blah. That's all. If we do it, that's all I'm saying. If you start at 9, I'll be forced to get up early. So maybe that will work out. We'll see what happens if you do. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's got a good energy that early in the morning, I think. But yeah, streamlining, I agree with him 100%. I think is the best way to do it, and I can get things worked out that way. So I liked it. This is already at 100%, so there's not many people in here to do it. The poll says 100% yes, 0% no. Okay, then I don't have a choice at that point. So good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And we will do the paranormal thing, Cap. I'm trying to work out a plan with the paranormal thing on Fridays to bring somebody else in that is interested in the paranormal stuff to work with that, as we had planned to do before. That's the thing. And I want to continue to do it. I have a lot more stuff that I want to add to that. And that way we have different things to do throughout. To give you guys, I'm supposed to have, in fact, when I get off of here, I'm going to be having a little meeting with some peeps in my Discord about this stuff. So the chat has spoken. That's right, Dragonfly. I appreciate you guys very much. I really, really do. I'm feeling a good energy. I haven't felt this way in a little while. Doodle can tell you that much. I appreciate the Blue Crew, Arctic, Doodle, everybody that has supported me throughout a lot of the issues that have gone on. I really, really, really appreciate you guys very much for standing by me, supporting me, helping me to keep my head above water when I'm having bad days. You guys mean everything to me. I really mean that. I feel like this can all go in a positive direction, and I feel that I have the support to do it. So I'm very grateful for all that. That being said, Arctic, Doodle, thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Doodle, I need to talk to you about this anyway, which I have an idea. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Thank you guys again for joining me up here today. I really appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. Everybody in the community, you're amazing. I can't stress that any more than I have. It's just I can't. So thank you guys so very much. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, guys. Please, please don't change a thing about yourselves. You guys are absolutely amazing. Much love to each and every one of you. And I will see you guys very soon because I will be back here very shortly with the second half of today. Yes, Brandy, you're amazing. You know it. All of you are amazing. Much love to you all. And I will see you very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.